That's right. We can call the audience whatever we want to call them. Well, we've been meaning. Yeah. Just callers. Yeah, that's fair.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of AOS Trash Pandas. I'm one of your hosts, Rob, and with me, as usual, but not wait, no, you were here last week. I forgot. Yeah, you were acting a little different, but it is my co-host Carson. How's it going, Carson?
It's going quite well. Quite well. Yeah, I just got back from Atlanta, from WCW, which this year actually I had a good time. It was like much better than last year. It was much better than last year.
I did not expect you to say that. I mean, like, because technically, or maybe not. I don't know. We haven't had no time to talk. You just got back. Yeah. I thought you did technically better last year because you got into like the final tournament or whatever, like the second sub tournament of.
Yeah. So last year I got into the top 8 because I went undefeated in like the pool play.
Yeah.
This year I was like barely out so I lost just to a tiebreaker to get into the top bracket. But I ended up coming 11th this year out of 124 people as opposed to 7th last year out of 84 people, which is actually almost the exact same placing adjusted for the amount of players.
That's awesome, dude.
Nothing changed, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There is a major change, and we will get to it. But first, I have a new system that should hopefully vastly improve the quality of the stream. You guys might not notice it as much, but I just wanted to check, how is the sounding? Is one of us higher than the other? We did a quick check beforehand. I can adjust it on the fly here, so just let me know, guys. So I guess I'll go back to the rumor engine super quick. It's a 40K thing. I think it's almost certainly like a new kind of Space Marine vehicle, probably a repulsor, because I've painted a lot of these things. I've painted a lot of these like back sort of jet engine things. It could be a plane or something too, actually, because that's what they look like on the Stormwolf. But it's clearly a 40K thing, so I don't think we need to talk about it anymore, do we?
No, I don't think so.
Carson, you're posting spoilers in the chat, man. What is up with that?
Spoilers that I didn't get food poisoning?
Yes, obviously.
Okay. My bad.
We all expected you to get food poisoning. It's like, like the huge plot twist that you're revealing ahead of time, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. That's my bad. Well, this is clearly KO, I think, this reveal.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, after I just talked about how it's definitely a Space Marine tank.
No. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I haven't painted like way too many of these. I think it's actually gonna be like some kind of new repulsor land vehicle. I don't think it's even a speeder because it's got that little like Jeep. Anyway, I don't know why we're talking about all this. It's clearly a 40K thing, and goodbye. So Matt, there's so much stuff to talk about, so we're gonna kind of just get into it because this was okay. So I think this was the most jam-packed reveal show for AOS they've ever done. Right? Because like we got like the new Skaven models for Skaven Tide, and then on a separate day we got like a 15-minute like little quick bunch of units and stuff like that. And they've done that in the past, with Nighthaunt and with all the different big factions and stuff like that. And we've had stuff like like the Seraphon reveal came along with like a Daughters of Cain, like End Times, Forgotten Realms, whatever the hell it was at the time, you know what I mean? But like little bits. But it's like we got so much stuff shown this weekend. It's one of the best ones they've ever done. So up on the screen right now. Yeah, Ludivicus, welcome everyone. Obviously, sorry, that sounded kind of rude. I'm sorry. It's just Ludivicus is a huge Goblins fan, and boy, did we ever get a lot of good news for him. But welcome, Sean, Chris, Scotty, Alex, Asri, everyone who's hanging out. We really appreciate you guys hanging out here. Did you see like that they're doing a Shade of Cain Malinith Witchblade novel? She's getting her own novel.
No, I didn't see that at all. I also don't know who that is. But yeah.
Okay, so Malinith, yeah, that's fair. Actually, that like dovetails perfectly well into me explaining what I was going to explain anyway. So Malinith, so back in the day, you had the Gotrek and Felix novels, right? And Felix was Felix was the other character. He was like sort of the foil to Gotrek in those novels. I don't know why it zoomed in on you when you were taking a sip. That was weird. Moving right along. But Malinith sort of became like the Felix of the new books in the AOS universe, right? And at first, I actually didn't really like her that much. I was just like, she's, I don't know, just kind of annoying, But like, I kind of missed Felix was part of it, I think, So, but eventually she grew on me more and more. And I really started to like her in the second of the Darius Hinks novels, Gitz, and then even more so in Soul Slayer, so I'm excited for this. Like, I'm not like, I'm not like a number one Malinith fan or whatever. Like she's a dark elf, or she's a daughter of Cain kind of thing. So it's not like it really up my wheelhouse or anything, but I'm really looking forward to it. So they announced that, and the cover looks really awesome. And then they also announced a Gotrek and Malinith omnibus, which I'm definitely going to buy, because I didn't buy the novel. I had the first one. I just realized I do have the first one. I don't know. I think I'm still going to buy it. Like, it just, I don't know. These omnibuses are always like really good value, and yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Robbie McNiven?
Yep.
He was the writer for the game that I worked on.
What?
For Age of Sigmar. Yeah.
That's crazy. He did the Sylvaneth like novella.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy.
I personally didn't get to interact with him directly, but
well, then he can go to hell.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, move along.
I did read something by him, and then I was gonna read the Sylvaneth because he did such a good job with whatever it was. I was gonna read the Sylvaneth novella, and then I just kind of didn't get around to it, and life happens. But that's awesome. Yeah, so Darius Hinks writes the main trilogy, but I guess Robbie McNiven writes one of the novellas, or whatever they're called, short stories that's in this omnibus. So yeah, that's awesome. Cool. And then I'm sorry, I totally forgot that. So then we got the actual reveal show. And I actually didn't know what to show first. I don't know what they showed first at the thing, but 2 books. They showed two battle tomes are coming. And by the way, was the sound good? I don't think I heard anyone reply.
Yeah, Scotty even said that it sounds really good. In fact,
awesome. Oh, did he? Awesome. Thank you, Scotty. I really appreciate because it's really frustrating when people tell us like in the future, it's like, by the way, the whole time that podcast sounded like trash. So yeah, you suck and go to hell and that kind of thing. So anyway, sorry. So yeah, I don't know which one of these got shown first, but we're getting 2 books. They announced 2 books. Why didn't they do this earlier? Like, they showed the Slaves to Darkness thing as like a side thought. It was like, oh yeah, and by the way, like, I think we're gonna do Slaves to Darkness in the future. And it was just like, what? And then now we're getting two destruction books. That's so crazy. I did not expect any of this. I was thinking either it would be Orruk Warclans or Gloomspite gets next, one of the two, and then hopefully Ogres is like last or whatever, because that way they're more likely to get like an expansion. But okay, so first question, what do you think is coming first, Orruk Warclans or Gloomspite Gitz?
probably Gitz, considering we see the.
Really?
Was that for me? Thank you. And my partner just gave me some tea, which was much needed because my throat is very sore after screaming for 6 days straight.
That's right. And thank you for coming on and braving through your messy throat. Yeah,
it's all good. What was I saying? I think Git's probably first, just because we have the Git mob army box already revealed.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's kind of what was rumored anyway. Like I think a lot of us expected that Gitz was
right.
going to be the first one anyway.
That's true.
So that's my guess.
That was going to be my guess. And then I also heard that Orruk Warclans was up first from someone. And I was like, I could totally see them being up first. But like it would feel kind of whack if they did like, because Orruk Warclans was the first book after with Stormcast Eternal's last edition. So if they go first every time, then it feels like they're just going to get the raw end of the deal every time. But this Gloomspite Gitz expansion is huge. Like it's really big. It's a lot of kits. And they're all like dual kits or whatever. Or maybe not all of them. Anyway. Ludivicus thinks Gitz box, then Orruk's first, or simultaneous. It could be that too. It could be that too. I kind of hope not. I need my wallet to recover. I have Cruel Boys and I have Gitz. So, Sigmar help me, or the Great Horn Rat, or whoever's listening. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway. Also, I have to say, this cover is badass. The Orruk Warclans cover is effing sick. I like the Skaven one more, but like I was always going to. You know what I mean? Like even if they did a terrible job. But this is awesome, man. I mean, for the most part, the covers have been really cool. Okay, so other than this, in addition to this, we also got the thing that got spoiled a long time ago, which was the Hobgrot Slitta. What's he called again? Slitta Boss. By the way, man, the Slittas and the Slitta Boss, like, it's just kind of an unfortunate name. It's just like it's close, man. It's borderline. Like, I'll allow it, but god dang. Anyway, so we've seen this model a long time ago, but now we can see him properly. What did you think of this model? I don't think we ever talked about it because it was a leak and we didn't want to like mess with GW stuff,
Yeah. My general thoughts are like, who asked for this? Like,
god damn.
What is he going to do? Like,
yeah.
I mean, he looks very similar to just like the regular Hobgrot Slittas, except kind of special, which makes sense. Like it still looks really cool. It's really, really nice sculpt. But like, who did ask for this? Like, rules wise, what is he going to do? And I really hope it's not going to be like a chain activation with Hobgrot Slittas.
I think it is. I do think it is. Oh. I didn't order this guy because like I don't even have like 10 fully painted Hobgrot Slittas, unfortunately. Yeah. I like his weapon. Maybe he's he has poison off of his sword. What if he gives poison to the Hobgrot Slittas? So then he gets crit mortal on them. That'd be kind of cool. Like the thing is too right now is that Hobgrot Slittas suck bad. I'm trying to keep it PG.
They could morph into one of those units that's like unfortunately spammable. If they get like crit mortals and any sort of access to like more attacks or something like that, if they're just dirt cheap.
Yeah, they're dirt cheap.
Flipping them at your opponent with tons of mortal wounds, they kind of become like the Splintered Fang of last edition.
Yep.
Where they're just like, what if I just have tons of these and it's just bodies for you to sift through, and then maybe they spike on mortal wounds or something. So
exactly. Yeah, I mean they're already kind of overpriced, and so I would imagine if they did do something like this, they might play, on the side of caution, just kind of not go too nuts, like be conservative with the points and make them kind of expensive for what they are. That's what they tend to do. It seems like they tend to seem to like assume you're going to get every single buff imaginable on things and then point them thusly, So, but yeah, it would be obnoxious. I hate to say this. Okay, and I'm not. This has nothing to do with the painter. But man, those GW metallic paints, like you could see the pixels on this thing. This is a full picture. This isn't a zoomed in rumor engine of something like that big. This is a full model, and you can see the pixels on the metal. That's crazy, right? Like, that's kind of wild. Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry, but it's just, it is what it is. Okay. So we got him, and then we got one of the coolest terrain pieces I've seen in a long time. We got the Iron Jaws one, and we got the Cruel Boys one. They're both awesome. I hope it's not too big. Like, I'm hoping that, and if I had to guess, I would say that's on an 80 or 100 mil round. But please, I hope it's not on, like, can you imagine if that was like on a 130 or something like that? Or like, right? Ugh.
It's, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Also, it's the only faction terrain that's on a base, which is kind of weird.
Are you right about that? You might be right about that. Is that true?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Like every
Maybe
other
this is
faction
where they're
terrain-
going.
Maybe, yeah, it's possible. Actually, I'd be surprised because there's a lot of faction terrain out there that's like huge, right? That would just be like, you just can't have a base for it. Like if you think of the OBR
for
one,
sure.
like,
Oh yeah, no, I don't mean they're going to retroactively.
oh, you mean all the new ones? Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, I meant the new ones. Like maybe this is just their kind of design concept, because then it's a perfectly symmetrical bubble you're getting. Whereas
Yeah.
like the worst culprit is actually probably the gnaw hole because of the scaffolding. It's like, do you know, like they gave us a ruling way back when that you're supposed to count the scaffolding, but like I don't know about now, you know. So yeah. Anyway, I just think it looks freaking awesome, and I'm definitely going to get one. I mean, I have Orruk Warclans, but I love it. I think it looks so awesome. Yeah, Ludivicus says, I kind of hope all future terrain is on bases, to be honest. That's kind of, yeah, what I was wondering. Hopefully 100 millimeters at both. Yeah, exactly, Alex. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that looks like an 80 mil. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was 100 million or 100 mil. Sorry,
100 million. I would be less surprised if it was 100 million. The way GW is going, am I right? But if you look at the shield, the Cruel Boys Gut Ripper shield that's on the Cruel Boys version, that, you know, you can kind of picture, like, it actually, like, I think it was Asri said it might even be a 60 mil, and it might be, and I wouldn't be too disappointed with that, to be honest. I think what I might do, if it's possible, is build the top part with the Iron Jaws one, because I like that part more, and build the bottom part with the actual jaw, because I like that more. You know what I mean? Not just so I can use it with whichever army I happen to be fielding, because I'm obviously not going to buy two of these things, right? But I love them both, though. Like, I actually really like the wood, and I really like... Yeah, anyway. This is like one of my favorite things that they showed this entire weekend. I actually think it's that cool looking for me. Others will certainly, you know, your mileage may vary, but and then we got the endless spells. So we kind of have been expecting that maybe this was going to be a thing. Any faction that comes out that doesn't currently have an endless spell pack will get an endless spell pack. What do you think? Do you think that that's... Or here, I'll keep talking for a second while you take a sip of tea. Oh, no. Okay.
No, it's all good. You're just asking if, like, if I think every single faction is going to get endless spells? Probably not.
Really? No, that doesn't have them.
I know.
Okay.
I think KO isn't going to get them, and Gargant's aren't going to get them. So
that's fair. Okay, fair. You got me on a technicality. But, like, what about, like, magic-wielding... Atypically magic-wielding factions? Man, that came out terribly, but... Like, Idnith... Like, you know what I mean? Like factions that have magic wielders that don't currently have it. Like Seraphon.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I could see it. Yeah. I don't know that it's, like, guaranteed, but...
It's definitely not, unfortunately, but don't you want to see it? Like, don't you want to see what they would do with like Idnith Endless Spells or Seraphon?
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. I agree. Also, Azure says I don't think ogres will get them either. They just eat the endless spells. That's true. But what if you could just like keep summoning food to eat?
There you
That'd
go.
be sweet. Like
Yeah. Yeah, you spend magic and you get food.
yeah, that'd be awesome if you just like your butcher just like casts an endless spell that just pops up like 6 different static things on the board, and when your ogres walk up to them, it's like they're picking up little like chicken nuggets and they heal. Like
I was thinking, like, what if one of them, I know they're not going to do this, but how awesome would it be if one of the endless spells was a giant cheeseburger and it just like pops down and then you can heal people as they eat it? They pull off bits of it. I'd love that so much.
perfect. It's amazing.
Pour gravy on the enemy infantry. I like where your head's at, Alex. I really like where your head's at, actually.
All ogres get an additional +2 to run in the direction of gravied opponents.
Yeah. Actually, and Alex's first one was actually better. Summon spells to season your enemies. It's like it's just a sprinkling of like whatever chili flakes or something like that, and they're like, "Whoa, now you're looking real good, man."
They're like, oh, it's hailing. That's not hail.
That's
It's seasoning
hail.
salt.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the keg steak seasoning.
Run for your lives.
Yeah, exactly. These mother effers are vicious with that. Okay. Anyway, I do think that these look awesome. Foot of Gork is my favorite for sure.
I was gonna say that too. I really like that one.
It's so cool. And I wonder how it's going to function, because there's one clear imprint and then there's, where the foot goes or something like that. But the Crew Boys Endless Spell, I'm wondering if that's going to kind of like buff poison attacks. So the thing that's going to be kind of crappy though is if it's like, okay, what if you just take Iron Jaws, for example? Does the Cruel Boy Endless Spell, like, is it not going to do anything for you? You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Yeah, I'm
Like,
not sure.
Or it could be like, and this is a wild idea, but like, what if it was like, it gives you crit mortal, and if you already have crit mortal, it adds +1. You'd be like, okay, I'm taking this thing every time, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'd imagine they'd probably try and make all of them useful for both
everyone, right? Yeah. I mean, I think Foot of Gork's going to obviously be some kind of damage dealing thing. It's salt base, sprinkling salt on your enemies. Yeah, I mean, they are British.
On a nat 12, you summon MSG.
MSG is so delicious, and it's pretty healthy, contrary to what the rumors from the anyway. I won't. Oh, and then we're getting finally we're getting an Iron Jaws spearhead, or like box again. We haven't had a box since the like one of the best ones they've ever created. And the reason that I did buy it back in the day, and then I got rid of it, was because I hated the Ard Boys. And now the Ard Boys are like some of my favorite sculpts they've literally ever done. So I might be in trouble. But one of my hopes for this book, before we go on to Gitz, is that it's not like, so currently the Mega Boss on foot is still currently one of my favorite sculpts they've ever done as well. And currently he only interacts with brutes, and brutes are still cool, but like, I don't want to run brutes just because the new Ard Boys look so freaking awesome. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that he kind of interacts with everyone, like all the infantry, not just brutes, but we'll see. I hope Foot of Gork walks across the table, leaving footprints. Exactly. That's actually literally what I was thinking, Azri. It'll probably be
Like the Shards of Valagar, which like teleport one piece. Do they teleport one piece at a time? I think so. Or either they teleport one piece at a time, or they like move constantly.
Yeah.
I could see like taking one step at a time with the Foot of Gork, and just like whatever you pass across or whatever's between them takes damage or something.
And then you alternate between the two, right?
Yeah.
So you have to always pick up the other one, and then you can move it with it. You can move it within like 8 or 10 inches or whatever they're going to say, 12. I don't know. Anyway, the new spearhead looks really cool. It comes with 3 ragers, in case people are just listening, 5 brutes, 1 mega boss on foot, and 10 Ard boys. And for if it does cost like about $180, it seems like a pretty good deal. Not an insane deal, but a good a good deal, like most of the other ones. So
Yep.
yeah,
Good way to get into the army for sure.
exactly. Okay, and now the Gitz. The Git Mob army set is coming out. Like, okay, this was not something that people were really asking for, I think. Because like the Gitz range is actually pretty big. I didn't even expect like a major, what do you call it? Like release for Gitz. But god dang it. It's so awesome. I'm actually kind of pissed that it's so awesome. Because it's just like, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in, Bloody freaking Kenrick, who's in the chat. What up, buddy? Like, I was playing this army, and then he's like, I'm going to play this army. And it's like, okay, well, now you guys don't really need me to play this army. But they're riding giant wolves. Like, I love wolves. What am I supposed to do, Carson? Just not buy this? Like, I can't do that. This is, okay, this is, in my opinion, the coolest wolf anyone has ever sculpted. The leader guy, holy crap. And I don't mean the goblin riding on top. Like, he's fine, he's cool, and there's like a couple different versions of him, but the wolf he's riding is stupid cool looking. I
love how chubby these goblins are.
I know. There's a couple of them. Yeah, exactly. This guy didn't learn to take the picture from up high. He only learned how to like do it from like underneath his.
He's like the Big Ed of goblins, basically.
Yeah. By the way, I never would have gotten that reference until like not that long ago. Totally separate YouTube channel like showed him. He's from that Fiance show, right? Where people
90 Day Fiance, yeah.
90 Day Fiance. I was going to call it 50 Day Fiance because it like there's iteration there, but 90 Day Fiance. And I ended up, I haven't seen the show, but I watched like someone was showing a clip on another channel. That's too funny, dude. This guy's insane. The Big Ed of Goblins. Yeah. Now that's his name. Like forever. That's his name. He's the Big Ed of Goblins. Yeah. Or he's just, you know what? He's not the Big Ed of Goblins. He's just Big Ed, right? Although Big Ed could never capture or tame a wolf that cool. So maybe Big Ed of Goblins is actually more appropriate. It's just kind of long, Kenrick says he feels like he should buy the box and I should paint it. Dude, I'm so far behind. Crueler words have never been spoken. Yeah, I don't know. My birthday's coming up in the new year, so we'll see. And then we got the different riders. So these are going to be like bigger cavalry. Like what's the right word for that? Like
Heavy
shot
cavalry?
cavalry? What's that?
Heavy cavalry, you mean?
Heavy cavalry. Thank you. That's no, that's exactly the word I was looking for. I just brain farted and it wasn't coming to me. So yeah, I mean, these guys all look awesome. There's 2 to a giant ass wolf. Like even in 40K, they don't have this cool looking wolves. And the rumor is that space wolves are losing the wolves that they ride. So like we might have the only game where there's cool wolves. This one's my favorite, by the way. They better give us good rules for this stuff. Hopefully not too good, Ludivicus, because Big Ed. Like Evie instead of heavy, right?
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. And then we also got these insanely awesome chariots. I don't know what to say. Like apparently like what they're going to have rules where they like crash into the enemy or something like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a lot of movement shenanigans and movement-based mechanics, which I love.
Makes sense.
Because I mean, it's all wolves and chariots, and
Yeah.
You have like the goblin. Well, I'll let you reveal that before I reveal that. But
I mean, I'm sure everyone's seen it already, but we did finally. That's why I made it on the thumbnail. It just, this guy's yelling finally. We're finally getting, I don't know, like, is there ever been a cooler like catapult anything in this game? Like, it's the perfect blend of funny, awesome, and creative. It's like everything. The bad news is I think this is on a 170 base. I think this is on a knight base. I think it's a 170 oval.
the Mortec crawlers are as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Because, like, look how
Think of
small
the
they are. And, like, look how elongated the base is. Like, the 120 oval is, like, more of a fat base. You know what I mean? This one's kind of a long, skinny base. It looks like a hoagie or something, you know?
Yeah. I'm curious as to what this thing's rules are going to be. I really hope it's not just, like, mediocre artillery, essentially, and then it has some kind of, like, maybe, like, a, I don't know, an effect it applies to a unit or something where it's just, like, now you have a goblin in your unit that's, like, biting you and stuff, and you just take damage over time. But
That's fair. I thought that the lore on these guys was that they never survive. You know what I mean? But like I'm wondering because like back in the day, I could have seen them being like they could have been doing like something like -1 or -2 to bravery because it's like they're flinging their own guys at us. And it's killing us. Like they're sacrificing. It's like when they used to do like the cutting off people's heads and then using catapults to shoot it over castle walls and intimidate people. It's kind of like the ultimate version of that. Like live goblins just going, you know, and like they think they're going to survive for some reason. So they're not even intimidated, which makes the whole thing more intimidating. But like now I'm wondering if it'll be like minus your control score. Like half your control score. You know, because it seems like instead of like the effects that would normally be applied to bravery back in, you know, 3rd edition and before now seem to be applied mostly to control scores. So that's kind of what I was wondering. I have to paint one of these things for me. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I love the guy getting ready down below. And I love the mini goblin. Where is he? Right here. Can you guys? Yeah, you guys can see that. Like, I love the mini goblins. Like goblins are already small, right? They're like the same size or smaller than clan rats. And yet we've got like a mini version of something that's really, really small. Yeah. He's so awesome. And like, he's not even the best mini goblin. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think I do.
Okay. Okay. You probably do. By the way, there's different versions of the goblin getting flung. There's one who's on the end and he's actually in the air. And then there's another guy who's like getting ready. Oh, it's so sick. Everyone's been asking for this. Like, this is the opposite of no one asked. This is something that everyone's been talking about. And there's like a big weird like ox creature in the middle. Like, what? I almost didn't even notice him at first, you know? Yeah.
This whole range like really captures like old Warhammer Fantasy Battle.
It does.
Goblins like
it
super
does.
well.
It really does. Yeah. And the sculpts are obviously amazing because everything has been lately. And one of them has a bomb on his head. So is there like 2 different versions? Yeah. Like, you know?
Also, Ludovicus said that
Snotling. I'm sorry. You're right.
it's supposed to be 4 attacks, rend 3, damage 3, and you can reroll with a downgrade to rend, which is what they said, apparently.
I'm
not sure what the source on that is, but
maybe it was on the stream. I didn't actually watch it because if they don't do the stream at a respectable time and show it properly, I don't watch it. Like,
gotcha.
I go straight to the pictures. But
yeah, I guess it depends on like what the hit and wound roll is and whatever. If that's the only thing it does, then that's a little underwhelming, but
right.
That's fine. I mean, the rules are. I'm not going to take away from how awesome this is with rules. Anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly. No, totally. Asri said that looks like a 105 by 70. I kind of hope you're right because I don't want anything that's on a 170 mil is going to be expensive. So the 105 though is not that big. Maybe I would love it because the original Doom Diver catapult was actually super small. It was a very simple little thing. Are they called snotlings in AOS though? I thought that was 40K. But I'm getting things confused.
I'm not
On a
actually sure.
on a side note about the other stuff earlier too, though, I saw like the thing that in the lore, everything is made out of like this really cheap like wicker. I love that they've got like they're like using wicker furniture essentially as their like chariots and stuff to make things extra light and not durable, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so they run into you, you're like, what the heck was
yeah,
that?
exactly.
I really like
Yeah.
what Kenrick said in the chat where he said, I read on Reddit, someone said, imagine if they get a buff on the area of the table that is not in the moonlight. And it clicked for me, sun and moon, for like the different types of goblins. Because Gitmob is supposed to be like surface goblins, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That are kind of like going out and raiding and whatnot.
Interesting.
That'd be
That's an
super
interesting idea. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, like do they get more damage when they hit something that's not under the moon, or when they're not under the moon? Like either way, you could kind of,
Yeah.
you know, huh? That's interesting. Snotlings is a great name. IKEA chariots. God dang it, that's so awesome. Although I think they use cheaper fiberboard instead. It's like actually super heavy, like for its durability. Okay, and we also got another big Ed, another kind of Ed. This is like the boss on the chariot, and this is what I was talking about. The best Snotling ever, easily, is this guy sitting on the back, and one jug has like moon energy and one jug has like sun energy apparently. And then when he uncorks them, they mix and they basically it's basically goblin nitros. It's basically NOS for goblin chariots. And that is the most awesome thing I've possibly ever heard. God dang it. You got to be saying these things. Why are you typing them, Carson? Damn it.
Well, it doesn't make sense without the umlaut.
I know, but you can explain. A lot of people just listen to this podcast and you're giving them nothing, Carson. Nothing.
Nothing. You got to look at the
Nothing from
chat
nowhere.
and listen to get everything. But yeah, I do love that the little goblin on this one too, where he's just like sitting there chilling with it's like a torch in his hand.
Yeah, torch, and he's got like the two different jugs. One has like moon energy and one has sun energy apparently, and then he like pulls the top, and then those energies mix, and it becomes Gloomspite gets nitros on their cars. I don't know. It's so awesome. And as if that wasn't cool enough, to be honest, I like the shaman way more. The shaman on top, just like screaming. He's got like, it's not even a bird on his head. It's like a recently deceased bird or something. Cause like the skull is all like there and whatnot, but the bird is just like dead and on his head. And he's just like screaming on top of some giant skull. Oh, I love this. It's so sick. What kind of base is this on though? Is this on a 120? It looks bigger than that to me.
Standard sized chariot base, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a 120 oval. I hope so. I don't want them to be too big because then they get really expensive, and they're also just kind of more of a pain in the ass on the tabletop.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
We will get to that Bahamut. That is, we're just going through these insane amount of reveals. Okay, and then we got, or as part of the box, there's this special edition version of the Battle Tome, which is really awesome. Okay, and then we're getting cards obviously, and then they'll probably reveal dice and stuff like that the weekend that they go up. Most of the dice have been really crappy though for Age of Sigmar. Unfortunately, the 40k ones will look pretty awesome, and ours look kind of not great in my opinion. They're very simple and whatnot. Okay, so now, Carson, did you see the Gloomspite Gitz? So this is what I'm showing right now is the special edition version of the Battle Tome. Did you see the regular version of it?
I did not.
I don't know. I don't know how to talk about this. It sounds like a weird thing to say, and I don't know. Some people I think will. I was at my brother's house when for my nephew's birthday party, and when they revealed it, and I showed it to my brother, and he thought the same thing I did. he's a professional artist and he has stronger opinions on it. But I brought it up, and I asked him about it, and because when I saw this, I actually instantly thought that this looks like AI art.
Interesting.
And I don't know. Like, I don't know that it is, but it's got this kind of look to it like AI art. Now, we compare it to the Orruk one, and the Orruk one is freaking insanely awesome. Like, it's almost perfect. And then we go over here, and like, this looks like an artist's, and it looks like it's done in that like kind of battle tome style as well, right? And then you go and you look at the Goblin one, and it's just more and more, it looks like computer generated art to me.
I think it's more so that, so first of all, I highly doubt it.
It seems like a crazy thing for them to do, right?
Yeah, I would be extremely surprised if that were the case. I think what it is that it almost looks like these were perhaps 3D renderings that they've done like a draw over or something like that, because I'm getting like 3D model vibes from the wolves specifically.
But oh, I see. You mean like, but like they're wolves. The 3D like models of the wolves have that graphic-y style to them, whereas these look like CGI from a movie.
Yeah, there's something uncanny about it. Like I agree with you there.
There's a thing in I forget what it's called. My brother was telling me about it. Where what you do is when you make like concept art and stuff like that, what they'll do is they'll take, I think it's called bussing or something like that, where they'll take like other images that they just find on the internet, and then they'll kind of draw over them real quick or whatever, or use them. It kind of looks like that with a combination of AI art. And I was wondering, like, are they using AI art to like as a stopgap to get it ready? And then normally that they draw over it more and make it more graphic-y or something like that. But in this case, they kind of, because the art style looks totally different though, right? Like, I'm not crazy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a different art style, but again, I really, really doubt if there's any AI art of any kind. Just because, like,
I hope so.
This is especially for the Battlezone cover, they would get.
I know.
They would get lampooned for.
If it ever got found out that it was actually AI art.
It's usually
right.
Not hard to tell most of the time. Like,
oh, I see.
Or rather, like, sure, it could be hard to tell, but like, I feel like that would create like such bad blood with the entire community and everyone that works for them. It'd be probably pretty hard to contain. So I really doubt that that's.
I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I just think it's a totally different style, and let's just say let's just say it's not AI art, right? The very fact that it reminds me and looks like, because my brother said that too, and he's a professional, he's a famous artist, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? The fact that he was just like, is this AI art? And I was like, that's what I was wondering. Like, that it even makes two people, even if they're related by blood, you could say that's, like, that's very circumstantial evidence. And I'm not even saying that it is. I'm just saying that it reminds me so strongly of AI art. And it did my brother as well, that I don't like it, basically. Like, you know what I mean? Like, art should not have that feeling at all to it. It should, even if it's something you don't like, it shouldn't have that plasticky kind of feeling to it. You know what I mean? So anyway, I love all the releases, and I always like all of their special edition art covers. I think they all look way better than the regular battle tomes. All of them. I don't think I've ever seen one that wasn't like 10 times better. They're usually simpler, and then there's just like a symbol, you know what I mean, on there. But I love them. I love them all. And I really like the Orruk Warclans one. But anyway, what do you guys think in the comments? What do you guys think in the chat here? Cragnell should be on the cover of both books. Damn it, Eric. I was just laughing at your joke, and then you said all my opinions are AI generated. Well, I think you're very smart and handsome. Moving right along. So, we are going to talk about... whoops, I'm on the wrong thing. Bam. Nope, that didn't come up because I didn't bring it up. Bam. WCW. WCW. Carson recently got back from Hotlanta. And he already spoiled the fact that he didn't ruin his gastrointestinal health there, unfortunately. So there will be no crazy plot twists for now. But why don't you tell us about your big time?
My big time.
Your big time
in Hotlanta.
Yeah.
No, it was. I would say, like, the key takeaway is that this year was like 1,000% better than last year.
Really?
It was much more well run. Nobody got sick. The schedule was much more relaxed, and I actually did some things and like went places in Atlanta that I was like, it redeemed the city a little bit for me. Just because like last year we had like no time to really do anything, and obviously a bunch of people got sick. A lot of people had like skip meals because of the schedule and stuff like that. So like all of the terrible things about last year were improved upon this year, which is a really good sign. Not to say that there weren't issues this year as well. You know, there's always ways that you can improve, but all in all, it was actually a really good experience. So I'm happy I went. And
good.
If it was in Atlanta again, I would go. Whereas I was kind of saying before, if they were going to try and do like the exact same thing again next year, if I did qualify, I probably wouldn't, but I would go again next year. Yeah.
Good.
Wait.
You said that last year?
I said going into this trip, I was like, if it's like a similar experience as
I
to
see
what it was the year before,
Got it.
I'm just not going to go again the third year. But they really improved, so I'm happy that they decided to like put in the time. I brought, as Chris said, Slaves of Darkness instead of Ogres, which was great. Like they're a really good army, and I ended up coming 11th place out of 124 people, so almost the exact same like ratio, I guess, result as last year, except I didn't actually make it into the championship bracket. I was just barely beat out by a tiebreaker after pool play. That's maybe one piece of feedback I have for the event is like, we'll get to that later, but just like how the whole like bracket structure system panned out, I felt like that could have been a little bit better.
Okay.
But basically I was there from like Wednesday all the way to yesterday. I flew up, came back home yesterday. 4 games of Warhammer. The big thing this year was that they were 4-hour games, which was pretty crazy. And they only did 2 games a day. No matter what bracket you were in, everyone was just playing 2 games a day. So it was like much more relaxed. You're always done by like 6 p.m.
That's awesome.
So you could actually like go and get dinner and stuff like that. It was great. So
what time did like the games start?
Usually like it was 10 a.m. the first day, and then it was 9 a.m. the other days. So it was pretty reasonable. Yeah, like it's like a work day's worth of Warhammer essentially. So you still have time to like, go out for food and whatnot. All of the games seemed to finish like relatively on time. Like the very final championship game finished before my last game did, and I heard everyone cheering and stuff like that. And I was like, oh damn, I guess Casper won. Which spoilers? Denmark took it home this year. Like Casper Carlsen was. Yeah, congrats to them. He was in my pod, and I know he played against Beasley and Fabian, which are very, very strong players, and beat them both. So he definitely deserves it. And he played other strong players too. Yeah, really, really solid event. Went out, had some good food. I actually met up with Azri, who was there too.
Oh, cool.
And he showed us the absolute like beauty that is. There's a couple southern foods. We had like sweet potato pie, which I'd never had before, and like my god, it was so good.
God, indeed, yeah.
He shared some collard greens with me, which were really, really good. I'd never had collard greens before. And I remember we had some baked beans and like fried chicken sandwiches and stuff like that. It was all just really good. And at the end, this jerk, he pays for it. So I got to get him back. Yeah.
Oh man. Damn, Azri, holy moly.
I know. I got to get him back. But yeah, thank you so much for for showing us a good time, guys. We really appreciated that.
Southern
and I saw
hospitality
a bunch
indeed,
of other
huh?
times. Sorry.
Southern hospitality indeed, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, but yeah, and I saw him and a bunch of other people around a whole bunch. I think that was one of the biggest differences this year. Is it felt like I knew everyone, and
I see.
people would
Yeah.
always come up to chat, and like I could pretty much show up at any table and have a conversation with someone, either having like already known them or like tangent, like known them through someone else essentially. So that's always great too. And everyone was really nice. It was lots of good sportsmanship and great games. Yeah, it was a really good time.
That's awesome. Could you walk us through this first picture?
Sure. So this I think is day one, where they expanded the hall because there's 124 AOS players and then like a couple hundred 40k players, I think.
Is this everyone in the same room?
Yeah.
Wow.
Behind me there was probably another like 10 rows of tables. Tables as well.
Holy
was huge.
moly.
Yeah.
Wow.
What was funny though is that they had this gigantic hall.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when they were doing the award ceremony, they're like, all right, everybody, let's cram into this tiny little theater that we actually couldn't fit everyone inside. And so it was like an oven in there. And a bunch of people were like, man, if only there was a bigger room that we could use to do this award ceremony.
Jeez. I don't see Ryan in this picture.
Technically, he would have been in that picture far, far away because the
right.
40K was on the other side. I did meet up with Ryan, though. It was good to see him.
Nice. Oh, good. That's awesome.
Yeah, Hazard. The smell in that final room was ... Yeah. Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, man.
It was real bad.
It sounds like a Smash Brothers tournament. Just raw.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so on the first day, so how it worked was basically they put everyone into different pools. And the way that it worked is that it's like a 16-person pool or 15 or 16 person. You play 4 games in that pool. The actual undefeated winner of that pool goes to the champs bracket, and then the runner-up also goes to the champs bracket.
After 4 games?
After 4 games, yeah.
Oh.
Then you play 4 games in whatever bracket you get assigned to, and then your final placement is like calculated.
Oh.
So
wow.
The thing that was unfortunate is that some of the groups, what they did is they took a lot of like Americans, or sorry, I think they took the Americans, which were like the biggest contingent, like
makes sense.
They were the most amount of people, and they just sorted them alphabetically and split them up like that.
That's
which
crazy.
is a problem because like
that's crazy. That's wild.
There's just so many like Matts and Jeremys and that are all like amazing players.
Yeah.
So what happened is group 4 and 5 just was crazy. Like
wow.
Like I think in group 4, which was Matthias's group, there was Tom Guan, Jeremy
right.
Lefebvre, Noah, the previous world champion, John Anderson, like a whole bunch of like really, really good players. And it just got stacked up like that. So it was wildly imbalanced, the groups that were made there. And then after you get out of that, you kind of go into like your bracket. So you'd be in the 1-3 bracket, 2-2 bracket, 3-1 bracket, or the champs bracket, basically. And you play your 4 games in there. And then the one thing that I will say I didn't really agree with was, instead of being like locked within that bracket placement wise, if you get into the champs bracket, so you're 4-0, and then you lose all 4 games.
Yeah.
All the brackets are like taken off, and then you get placed.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So what happened to like poor Chris Lemoy was he gets to the champs bracket. He's undefeated. He gets to the champs bracket and then loses his 4 games. And he drops to 75th place.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because and I don't take this the wrong way, right? But everyone who didn't get into the champs bracket technically didn't get out of pools, like in a traditional tournament setting. So then for him to like everyone in the champs bracket should automatically be anyway. It is what it is. I thought it was what I thought it was I thought you played 2 games. What do you call it? The first 3 days, and then it was a best of 6, and then you went into like a separate thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I guess that doesn't really work because then you have 8 people in another bracket, right? and then you can't. And then what? Even if it's single elimination, 4 or 8 goes to 4, 4 goes to 2. Oh no, but then you'd only have 3 games the final day.
Yeah, I think it
That's
worked
not
out.
bad.
Like it's
Yeah, fair enough.
4 games in it's a 16-person champs bracket, so you end up with one final winner anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's totally fine. What I liked, which is what I thought the original structure was supposed to be, was after pool play, champs bracket is created, top 16 people, and then I thought it was going to be a top 16 and then just everyone else.
Yeah.
And then what happens is basically when you're in the champs bracket, you face against champs bracket people. If you ever lose in the champs bracket, you drop out of it and enter the pool of everyone else.
Enter the pool.
And
That would have been so much better. Yeah.
Exactly. That way you're not
that's
just
kind of what I was
with a bunch
saying.
of killers.
Yeah. Yeah. For real.
And that way, like, you have a chance to prove yourself in the champs bracket. If you win, you get to stay in. And then eventually when you're like, you get to the semifinals and finals, that's when you probably lock it and be like, these are the top 4 people, regardless of if they lose or whatever. Right. But at least with that, it's just like you have a chance to like re-enter the rest of like the pool and then play against people that aren't in champs bracket. And then you can kind of see like, do I stack up against these people? No, you drop further down and so on and so forth. But if you have people locked in brackets, you could have someone that's like, 1-3 on the first day, and then they win 4 of their games in the 1-3 bracket and end up above someone that went 0-4 in the champs bracket, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which feels like a little much.
And I've been sitting on this. Yeah, sorry, I was going to touch on that, but I've been sitting on this picture for too long. I'll go on to the next one. Maybe you can kind of tell me when to switch over to the next ones and whatnot. And,
I don't remember what the photos are. So I'm sorry.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I just put them up in order that you sent them.
Gotcha. No, I agree with what the Divicus is saying. Like
we both do.
It
sucks, but yeah.
No, I don't think I deserved like 11th place. It should have been like 18th or 19th or whatever would have been if I had been like trapped in my bracket essentially.
Yeah,
that's what I think makes the most sense. Right. So in my mind, that's kind of how I ended up not 11th. I shouldn't have surpassed people that made it to champs bracket.
Yeah. I'm sorry to agree with you. I mean, you already did insanely well and made it to champs bracket last year. So you can't always be in like, did anyone make it to champs bracket that made it last year?
Yeah. There was a couple people,
but like, there's only a couple people though, like out of 110 or whatever. So
there's a lot of just new faces at this time as well.
Well, that makes sense because it's people winning other prestigious tournaments. So that checks out,
Yeah, absolutely. I think Tom Guan, Ronja Anderson, and Casper Karlsmos were the 3 same people.
Oh, cool.
Out of the 16 people that made it. But there was only 8 last year, so.
Right. That's true. Well, so that's even more like, goes to what I said.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of Frenchmen. Yeah. So this picture is of the French team actually like were super organized. So they have something called the French Federation in France, where basically what you do is you pay into it to be like a part of it every year. And if you end up making it to the World Championships, they send you like a stipend, and they send you like a free jersey, free dice, and croissants to give out to all of your opponents.
That's insane, and I love it.
And so all of the French players had like matching jerseys and stuff like that. It was super organized.
Wow.
So it was, it's props to them.
And it should have been baguette, but it's fine. I get it. It's bigger.
That's true.
So
yeah, it's too much to carry.
It's
they, what's it called? Yeah. So they actually made an award this year for like country spirit or something.
What?
Where it's essentially,
That's crazy.
So Games Workshop was basically like saying or acknowledging that like some countries are putting in like a lot of effort to make sure that the people in their country like are well accommodated and stuff like that. And France won it this year, obviously.
For sure. The only thing I'm not sure about is that there's, I guess there's more American players. So like, but I don't know, like, how is Canada ever going to win that? Like, how many Canadians were there? You know,
There's quite a bit of Canadians, especially over 40K. I think there was like 70 of us.
damn, that's insane.
There's a
That's
lot of
actually
Canadians.
insane. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
40K is quite big, especially out east in Eastern Canada. I mean, it used to be
Yeah.
big out here too, but whatever.
In fact,
Putting
if you,
all that
if you
aside,
look at the final
But, like,
standings,
like how does the Philippines ever going to win that? They have like 2 people, right?
yeah, I
It's-
have no
it
idea.
just yeah, it's like, okay, but I mean, I like that. I kind of like that they did it just so it encourages everyone to kind of make an effort in that regard. But yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Next picture, I guess. I'm not sure
Cool.
what it's gonna be, but sure.
mostly empty looking hall with a couple of yellow shirt people walking around.
I'm looking all with a couple of yellow shirt people walking around.
Oh, I thought they were refs, but maybe they're not.
Waiting. Oh yeah, these are just more pictures of the event hall.
Okay,
We can skip through them as much as we want, but I'm just talking about like the event in general.
I'll just kind of. There's only like, including the one that I just skipped to. There's only 3 after this, so I'll just kind of randomly do that, and then if you want to bring up anything about what you're seeing, then you can feel
Sure.
free to do so.
The Sylvaneth army was a Serbian guy who's plays for Team Serbia, I think, and yeah, it was really nice. That was,
Was
one
it
of the only
the-
armies.
Was it the winner of the name award?
What one?
The one the
Oh,
list
Trees
that-
Nuts one?
Yeah, trees nuts.
No, that was a Vietnamese guy.
I forgot. Yeah, it was a Vietnamese guy. Do you get to talk to him?
Nope, he was in my group though, I think.
Damn it, Carson! You should have talked to him. I offered him as the winner dice. I was going to send him some dice in Vietnam.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. And I was there. I should have known that. Of course.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You were there in the podcast.
Yep.
Carbson. Well, if he ever does see this, please email me with a link from the from the description, and or contact me any way you want, and I'll get them to you. Yeah.
Also, congrats to Stark, who he was on our Stormcast review show like the
He
week
was.
before we all went out.
Yep.
Stark not only qualified for the champs bracket, but
He did.
finished 8th.
8th. Damn.
He did super well. He got into the champs bracket and went 2-2 in that bracket, which is great because it's a killer bracket. You know, like
It
he won his
really
first
is.
game. I think his second
Wow.
game was like 2-point difference or something like that. Super
Dang.
close. Won his third game in that bracket, and then I'm not sure what the difference was his last game, but he scored pretty high. So
Jeez.
by all accounts, did super well. So congrats to him. Also, one other person I want to shout out that was in my group. There's a kid in Canada. His name is Ollie Morin. He's 16 years old.
Damn.
He made it to the finals in our group. He
Wow.
played Casper Carlsmose, who ended up being the world champion, and he was the only person he lost to. So this kid, the 16-year-old kid,
Wow.
just comes in like starts kicking ass essentially.
Wow.
And
Man, that would be.
he,
I would love to get him on the podcast, maybe if he wants.
yeah, that'd be super fun.
That's so
but-
awesome. What was he playing? What army?
He's playing Skaven.
Nice. Then you know he's a good guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez Louise.
But yeah, I talked to him. He's a really nice guy. His dad was there with him, obviously because a 16-year-old can't solo travel to the United States,
Yep.
probably, but
Yep, absolutely.
like the random cities.
Oh, and he was Canadian too, eh?
Yep.
What? Where's he from?
I think Quebec or something, but
Okay.
I'm
well,
not-
we
I'm
won't.
not
You know, no one's perfect, so. right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's fine. But yeah, really nice person, and his dad's really nice too. And yeah, just big shout out to him because he killed it. Like he was
That's so awesome.
super surprising and super awesome to see someone so young like just excelling already. So
Yeah.
makes me
yeah.
terrified for the future, to be honest.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a real prodigy, hey?
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
many
absolutely.
rattlings did he have? Which one? Like we
Uh,
briefly looked at every. Oh, sorry, I didn't. I thought you might just know. I didn't mean for you to
12.
look it up. 12, right on. A respectable amount. I think that's a good amount. That's kind of
Yep.
what I was thinking. So I like it.
12 Rattling guns, and then 40, 60, 80, 100 clan rats.
I like it. I like that a lot. No, I mean that's along the lines of what I was thinking. I was thinking 80 for most of my lists, and Yeah, and 2 units of rattling guns. I like that. Could you send it to me?
Yeah.
I just kind of want to look at it, but
Yeah, of
not
course.
in any time. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So we actually
Nice.
ended up,
That was
because he did so well and he was such a nice kid, we actually ended up bringing him into the top 16 for Team Canada.
nice.
And what that means is, so Team Canada basically constructed a top 16 to be able to kind of narrow down to a top 8, who ends up being our world's team that goes to Austria next year. And we're immediately like, get this kid in here. Like, we gotta
Yes.
like involve
Yes.
him immediately. There's a couple people that were in the top 16 that are kind of like there to help us practice, but no, they can't go. So we're like, he'll take one of their spots, at least for the scrimmages and whatnot. And yeah, just get him involved at all, just because I feel like it's important to empower people like that, rather than stomp on their dreams.
Yeah. Or like be jealous or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what was I watching? It's something like, like that happened not that long ago. And it was just like so obvious jealousy. You know what I mean? It's just like, holy crap. Like we don't even need those kinds of people in the hobby, to be honest. We need the opposite kinds of people, like what you're doing. This is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Beautiful LRL army. Did you, play them, or why did you take a picture of just this army is what I want to know.
Because like roughly every couple hours, I was like, I need to take pictures.
Right.
Because I need to show them. And then, so there's no rhyme or reason to any of these pictures.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Really cool
yeah.
army. Reminds me of like, it's like the same color scheme as my elementary school.
Yeah. Yeah, that orange and blue, like
orange and blue. Yeah. That's so awesome. It's really pretty though. I really like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Very nice indeed. What's the next picture?
The next picture is a bunch of guys around a table. Is this grand finals maybe?
Is it? Oh, this is the shadow round. This is Alex Gonzalez playing against Aaron Newbaum.
Oh,
so Alex
I should have recognized
Nighthawk.
Alex. Yeah.
Alex has got his Nighthawk and
Corsair
Aaron's
shirt.
playing. Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Aaron is playing Adnet Deepkin, which
Nice.
I took this picture and I sent it to my partner. Also, Stark's in the picture. Hello, Stark. Try and find the Stark. I sent this picture to.
I'm not good at it. I don't know him as well as you do.
I sent this picture to my partner and she loved it because she just said that like it's the Last Supper for nerds. Essentially, if you look at like all of the different like expressions that people are doing, there's just so much going on in this photo.
That's true.
Like there's just a different emotion on every single person's face. You zoom in,
Yeah.
you see one guy's just like, damn, and one guy's just like having a crisis essentially, and then someone else is
I like the guy who's doing this the most.
Yeah, I think that's Maccabee, Mike Maccabee.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, lots of
Game
great
06.
people in this photo. You see Christopher Hernandez in the very back, who notably didn't bring his spinny cap from the golden ticket that he won at my tournament. When the one stipulation was that he was supposed to bring the spinny cap to the World Championships.
Wait, who didn't bring it?
Christopher Hernandez. Shame on you.
Chris
Shame on you.
Hernandez. I am shocked and amused.
Yeah. I told him he was never allowed at any of my tournaments ever again unless he paid currency in exchange for entrance.
Yep. That's totally reasonable. Expected even.
Yeah.
And bought you a hamburger or a cheeseburger?
No, just the first thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buy Carson a Big Mac. It's his favorite.
God, no, please don't.
Carson
I
hates
just
on
assume
Big
you're
Macs.
standing behind me at all times. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
By the way, did you see that someone said that, or Asri said that the Soulblight army to the left won best painted. I would love, by the way, if anyone has a picture of that, maybe you could put it on the Discord. Link in the description below. Also, by the way, if you like what you're watching, I know it's pretty late in the podcast, so we've already missed out on most of these people who could possibly hear this. But if you are enjoying yourself and you're not subscribed, consider maybe subscribing, hitting the like button, leaving a comment, letting us know what you think of the reveals, letting us know what you think of this awesome tournament that they held. Double Big Mac from Japan. Actually, they are very different in Japan. They are like insanely legit in Japan. McDonald's, they win best McDonald's in the world every year. Anyway, sorry, distraction. Okay, so on to the next picture is a picture of your meal. Speaking of hamburgers, segue. Got little fried beans on the side and a blue moon, Belgian
That's right.
white. Yep.
This is the meal that Asri treated me to.
Ooh, that looks good.
Those are fries that. Oh, thank you, Dom. That's so.
Dom,
that's
yo, Big Mac's on me. All right. Dude, we have to get you to eat a Big Mac on stream now. Please, 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 please.
Okay. Okay.
Are you a man of my word, Carson, or not?
Sure. Speaking of Dom, though, his
Yeah.
buddy James got a golden ticket at Battered Bison that, like, because I had already had my ticket, it was passed down.
Yep.
He went to this fried chicken place called Gus's that he was like, you got to go there. It's really good fried chicken, and also the baked beans are amazing too. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And so we gathered together a bunch of people, including like Matthias and Stark and Asri, James West, who ended up winning Best Painted, I think. And it was amazing. It was really good food. There were the kind of fries that you could kind of just eat by themselves. Like they didn't need to be dipped in ketchup or anything like that. Like,
I
really
never
well
do
seasoned.
though. I never do,
Okay.
but I can tell by looking at them. Like not too much, like, you know how, like, I mean, it depends on the person, but you know how like KFC fries are like really thick and crusty with like a lot of grease and stuff like that. And
Yep.
then like McDonald's fries are like the thin, like the least amount probably of like crustiness on there. These look like they are perfect for me. They look like they're right in the zone, and they look like they're seasoned well. I'm so jealous. Oh, I love a good fry. God
Yep.
dang it.
You know, it's the kind of like it's a good restaurant when they show up and they're just like, our fried chicken is like this, and we make no changes whatsoever to it. Even if you ask, we're like, all right, sounds good. Like,
Yeah.
we do this one thing, and that's it.
And we kill it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's
that
so
was good.
awesome.
That was really nice. And then once again, thank you again, Asri, for paying for that meal. That was super nice.
Very kind.
Stark and I both enjoyed some sweet potato pie. I know that I remember he got his sweet potato pie to go. Stark did, and then just like went up to his room with it. So I'm not sure what he did up there, but hope he enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, one way or another, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that movie.
Azure says putting a picture in Discord. I'll send that over to you.
Thank you. Wait, do you mean of the Soul Blight?
Yep.
Are you going to show
Oh
it?
no,
You're
this
gonna
is
send it to me?
Stark's. I'll copy it over to you. I'll send it to you on Facebook.
Donkey Shane. Okay, I need to find...
Shane the donkey. Boom.
Sweet. Oh, I did. I'm sorry, everyone. I meant to turn off Facebook and then I forgot. So
Stark says, holy hell, I almost went back for a pole pie. Yeah. I want to make a sweet potato pie. That'd be good.
I seriously, what a great idea. I haven't had a pumpkin pie in so long either, and I kind of want to have a pumpkin pie.
Let's do a
nice.
pie eating contest next week.
Oh, wow. It is super pixelated.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And this isn't... Oh, this is the army that won overall, I assume? Because I know Stormcast won.
Oh, this is Stark's.
Oh, this is Stark's army. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. I did want to see, like, because someone said that the Soulblight army won Best Painted. This is obviously insanely awesome, by the way. Like, even pixelated, I can tell it's insane. But sorry. What was I going to say? Canadian pie? I don't know if there's anything like that's particularly Canadian in the pie department.
Moose pie.
Moose pie. What's moose pie again?
It's one of Moose poops.
God dang it. Moose poo actually looks like chocolate covered almonds.
Oh, does it taste
like
it?
I don't know. I haven't. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one. Okay. And deer poop looks like chocolate covered raisins. Like
Same question.
Like identical, right? No, this is a true story. The first year I ever went hunting, like this guy that went with us, he was like a friend of my dad's friend. He brought back a bunch of deer poo, right? And I worked in a souvenir company. We used to sell what they called deer droppings and moose droppings, and they were actual, like they were chocolate covered almonds and raisins and stuff, right? Or peanuts. I think they were chocolate covered peanuts actually. Anyway, and they came in like a brown paper bag with like a symbol on it, and then there was goose droppings, which was like white chocolate covered, or sorry, white yogurt chocolate covered something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm getting a little off topic, but he brought it back and he was like, I got some chocolate covered raisins or peanuts or whatever he said. And then I was like, that's deer poo. Anyway, I still don't know what it tastes like. I assume that you just sent it to me. I will. I did shut down Facebook like I said I was going to this time, so everyone doesn't hear like the ding in their browser while listening to this and assume that it is, in fact.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of the Soul Blight army.
Oh, okay. That was someone else.
Sorry.
Okay. Sorry, everyone. Anyway. Okay. Do you send me like a good picture of Stark's army? Or just the pixelated one?
That was the only one I had. It was just the
one
okay. In the, it's in the Discord.
Okay. Maybe I can download it and it won't be like super ultra lossy format. Oh dear. Oh darn. I'll see if I can find it. You want to keep talking about your experience?
Sure. Yeah, it was a good time. I'm proud of the result that I got. Ended up 6-2. I had a very close last two games where I played Matthew Goldsboro, which is he's on Team Wales for like the AOS Worlds team.
Okay.
And we had a 1-point game, essentially. I won by 1 point. And what it came down to was actually the Chaos Legionnaires. I needed to roll a 4-up to shut off commands for one unit.
Okay.
So when both of us understood this effectively, it's like, if I roll this 4-up, I win the game. And both of us just like sat there as I like held the dice in my hand and I like rolled it across the table and it like basically bounced off his leg and like back onto the table. And it was a 4 exactly. And I was just like, yes. So that was a real close one. And then my very final game.
That was the 32-31 victory, I assume.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. That's funny.
Yeah. And then my last game was super close too. And yeah, the very first game I played, actually, so I did a Slaves Mirror the first game.
Yeah.
And it was finished in about 45 minutes. And because the length of the rounds were like 4 hours and we had lunch afterwards, I realized it's like, I got almost 5 hours until my next round starts.
Jeez, yeah.
What do I do? And one of the judges walked up to me and he's just like, I think you're the first game done in like the entire event.
Right.
Like, period.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy.
45 minutes is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
How is
Everyone
it over like just alpha, like crazy hard?
It was just, I think I had the better suited slaves list for that matchup.
Okay.
Because he was a 3-drop. So I got to dictate who dropped first essentially.
Who go first? Yep.
Yeah. And, I ended up just like, he had to go first, so he did Seize the Center with a bunch of Chosen. I shut off their crits and -1 to hit with Bellicor.
Yeah.
Which meant that they hit like nothing. And so I sent my Chosen into them and killed both Bellicor and half of the unit of Chosen in one turn. And then the turn after that, I gave it to him and I Bellicored his other unit of Chosen. So they are just sitting there doing nothing, and then I slammed into them with Varangard the turn after that, and it was just over. So
Wait, you can Bellicor multiple things a game?
The first thing was I casted Bellicor's War Scroll spell to turn off crits.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So they don't have crit mortal anymore, and they're -1 to hit. So
for sure,
when my Chosen went into them, they're -1 to hit and wound.
Wow.
And no crits. So it was rough. Litificus asks, did you end up as the top Canadian? I did. Yep, I was the #1 special boy at that event. The next Canadian was 3 spots below me, Justin LaPointe, who is also a Slaves player. And then what's crazy is that from the 17th place onward, you've got in 17th place as a Canadian. Oh no, I got messed with. Where all the Canadians go? Okay, well at one point it was like
no.
At one point it was like 17th place onward, like Canadian, just like all Canadians. It was crazy.
Dang.
So there's a really good showing by Canadians this year.
Was Matthias in there too?
He was.
Nice.
Yeah, not in that high up. Unfortunately, Matthias went 3-5 this weekend because he played corn for some reason.
Why did he do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
We all could have told him that was not going to work out.
Yep. Chris, I played 3s each armies.
What? 3?
Yeah.
Damn.
And I hated every moment of it. Yeah, I played Fabian, who is my first loss. I made a big mistake against him, so I definitely deserve that loss. And then I played Caleb Walters, and I beat him. And then I played Antoine Dumont, he was on Team Belgium last year, and he was playing Siege as well, and I beat him too. Yeah, I played 3s each. I played Slaves to Darkness, played Stormcast that had 12 long strikes.
Damn. Jeez.
Good God.
We saw that list, and it was like people were making like the joke that it's like friends, who needs friends kind of list or whatever.
He was actually a really nice guy.
Oh, I'm sure he is. No, I mean it's the list. It has nothing to do with him. It's just that's the list. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, I brought my opponents Canadian snacks. So I gave every single opponent of mine a coffee crisp, a full-size coffee crisp.
What? That's so awesome.
And
I love coffee crisp. I don't even like coffee. I just like coffee crisp.
Yeah. And there was only one person that actually refused the coffee crisp, and it was Fabian.
What?
And then he kicked my ass.
Why did he refuse it?
Because he really doesn't like coffee, apparently.
Oh.
Which I guess means you should never accept a gift from me at a tournament.
Yeah.
Because it's like a curse, apparently.
It's some kind of like, it goes into your power, right? Where it's like, you can't take compliments. You can't have people be nice to you. But if you're nice to them and they don't accept it, it blocks out your chi or something. And yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
Stark almost was the top US player. As we said, with the whole like funky bracket stuff going on, Michael Rausch ended up winning like the runner-up bracket, which put him at 5th place.
So was Michael Rausch? Did he get into the champs bracket?
No.
Okay, so that is kind of whack. But it is, it's fine. I'm not like I didn't go, so don't at me, right? And I'm just, I think WinPath should, surpass everything personally. But yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. Sorry, wait. I think was there? Oh, we got one more picture that we haven't seen yet, and it's of a dessert.
Indeed. Last year, like the one thing that I ate that I really liked was a.
God, dang it! What a comment! The one thing I ate.
It was a really good bread pudding at this little pub called Me Hands, which is just down the street. Yeah, really good. So I decided to go back this year and get it again, and I decided to take a picture. This is actually not my bread pudding. Immediately when I got to the table, I started like eating it, and I was like, "Oh, I should have taken a picture of this." And then I was with Jeremy Lemoyne. He's like, "Here you go." Like as soon as he got his, he let me take a picture of his pristine one. So
yeah, like I like the idea of it just showing up. And you're just like,
and the guilt of like, "Oh God, I should have taken a picture."
I'm such a piece of crap.
What's wrong with me?
We've all been there. Did they give you each 2 spoons?
Yeah, I don't know why.
They did though.
They did. Yep.
It's so you can eat with 2 hands at the same
I
time.
guess faster. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Or maybe they just assume everyone can do that, like play the spoons on their.
Yeah. And if you can, your meal's free.
That would be sick. How awesome would that be? Got to give a full performance though.
Yeah. Yep. Gitz struggled by the looks of it. The top Gitz guy was in the mid 40s, if I recall correctly, which was a surprise to me. Yeah, I think the issue is right now you have a lot of armies that have extremely good threat projection, either via teleports or by just being super fast, or both. In Stormcast's case, where they have like Gitz has none of those things. Like you can technically teleport. You can technically teleport something with like Hand of Gork, but it doesn't actually get you anything. It's mostly just
such
positioning.
a bad teleport. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not really used to get like a hammer in the correct place. And the kind of the goal with trogs is just stand on points and hope that your opponent can't kill you. But most of the time they can, unfortunately.
I think it depends on the army, because like some things are really hard to kill, but like you can't just be the stand on the points, the army. Like this game is about battle tactics and stuff too, right? So like, yeah, I think they need to make squigs better and spiders a whole lot better, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the Git mob stuff that comes out is going to kind of be the solve there.
Be that thing, right?
That's
but like
threat projection.
But squigs are so awesome. I don't want them to like forget about squigs. It's like, okay, now we've got wolves, so like F squigs, but it's like squigs are freaking cool, man. They're hilarious. So yeah.
I mean, it's like if you take my list for example, I've got 10 chosen and 6 variant guard. I could just as easily run 12 variant guard, but I think the chosen have an option there. And the way that I kind of see that is like if you think of like so squigs are relatively slow, but they can dish out a lot of damage.
Right.
Baron or chosen are kind of the same thing. Obviously, they're very tanky as well. Yeah. But you have like your thing that you use as a threat projection piece, and then you have your thing that can slog. And I feel like, trogs and gits can still be that for Gloomspite gits while still having git mob things. And if they can have more pieces in their army, I think that's a net win for sure.
Totally. Yep. I agree. I feel like they kind of forgot about Spiderfang, and since AOS 1 was the last time that they were good, it was like early AOS 1, before they even got their Gloomspite Gits, before they were even called Gloomspite Gits. They had, that was the last time that they were actually good, and then they've kind of forgotten about them ever since. And I don't want them to do the same with squigs, because squigs are like, they have so much personality and they're so funny. So yeah, but yeah, but those new models, man, holy moly. Yeah, I'm going to try and resist for as long as possible. We'll see.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
I won't resist. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to resist. I'm just going to say I'm going to try and resist for as long as possible. I didn't even say that I was going to wait until release date to resist. I'm just saying as long as possible. Yeah. I'm having so much fun painting Skaven. It's just like I don't think they're over-designed. I think for some people they're probably over-designed, but they're just take a long time to paint. You know what I mean? But I'm enjoying myself. So, yeah. Oh, I forgot to do the hobby section. Have you been working on any hobby-related stuff?
Yes. I'm almost on my Nexus Chaotica. 1 sec.
Nice. Ooh la la. Yeah. Resistance is futile. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Heck yeah, dude. Wow. That's really coming along. I love this stone. Is that like a lot of dry brushing?
Yeah, the stone is a lot of dry brushing and stipling and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then I've got like the lava effect there going on.
Nice.
And, like, tried to get like the glowing lava and the cracks and stuff, as well as like on here. And I'm just about to like highlight the gold and paint the rest of the stuff, and then do the flames up here.
Wow.
And then it's pretty much done. And then for this piece that's like going to sit on top.
Yep. It's hard to see on your webcam in particular, but like, yeah, we'll have to get. We saw the flags before, but yeah, they're looking awesome.
So that'll like go on there basically, and the flags will be all painted individually. So yeah, it's coming along nicely. I anticipate I'll be done probably this week, and then want to move on to get a chariot painted to finish up the spearhead, and then I might try and paint Bellicor maybe, but I'm not sure. Not sure.
Yeah, I hope so. So did you not have Bellicor painted at WCW?
I borrowed Matt Beasley's Bellicor.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's awesome. What a nice guy.
His Bellicor and his Mutalith Vortex Beast.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
that was smart.
I also borrowed Michael Rosh's Legionnaires, and I lost one piece of them, and I felt awful, and I was like, please let me pay you. And he's like, no, it's fine, I got more. And I'm like, Please.
Please.
Yeah, I felt really, really bad, and I still do.
Oh man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I gotta
even,
make it up to him somehow.
I wouldn't have even brought it up on the podcast.
Yeah. This is like a public apology, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't lose like a whole model. Like it was like one of them
Oh.
had
Oh,
like,
I see.
their spear break off. I don't know what it was. Maybe they just like were not fully glued on, but pieces just kept popping off. Like
Oh,
just as I
man.
was using them regularly. But I managed to get the spear, and then I think like a shoulder pad and like a shield were just gone. Unfortunately,
Wow.
I didn't notice that they came off, and I felt very bad, and still do. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry. Anyway, next subject.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. If I leave the hamburger on, will that make people hungry and they want to go away, or will they want to stay and just enjoy the picture of the hamburger?
Go back to the Git mob stuff.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
good idea. Okay. Boop. There we go. What? Maybe the Doom Diver? What do you guys think?
Doom
Doom
Diver.
Diver's probably my favorite. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you had a really great time though. Much better than last time, even though you didn't place as well or whatever, you know what I mean? By your own metric, you were saying earlier, right?
Yeah, I mean, like placing at events is one of those things it's nice to have had done, but it's very also good to enjoy your time at a tournament. Like
For me, it'd be
important, I
much
would
more
say.
important to just enjoy myself, right?
Yeah. Like I think the my results from last year's World Championships is like one of the things I'm most proud of in the hobby. Like like as like a
Sorry, what is?
last year's World Championships, like how I ended up. I'm very
Yeah,
proud of that, obviously.
yeah. You
But
should be.
it was also the worst event I've like probably been to.
That's
Um,
crazy.
So it's my least favorite experience. So it's like a very conflicting thing where it's like I enjoyed it the least, but having done it in the past,
Now
I'm
you just
proud
want to
of the
enjoy
result.
yourself. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
That makes sense to me. By the way, I don't want to change the subject, but I noticed when I put this back on that I didn't notice that they've like greased up the ramp with like butter or something like that. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Like, it looks like some kind of butter. Like, that's amazing. What an
It'd be
incredible
awful to be like
detail.
one of the guys being put on it, and it's just like all splintery and awful. You just like, yeah.
Oh, ugh. I mean, Wicker's usually not too bad, right? Now you're making me like, it's making me cringe. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I mean, like the nice thing too is it's like, okay, even if I beat the odds and don't get the amazing, like I love wolves, so it's not looking great for me. But like even if I do manage to resist the wolves, I gotta get at least one Doom Diver. Like I just want to paint this thing and play with this thing. I think it's so cool, and it will be good for Gitz 2 to have like some kind of ranged attack. You know what I mean? Like we had the Squig Laba for a long time from Forge World, but yeah, it'll be nice to have something. So
Yeah, absolutely. Azri says the quality of player at this event was so high, it's like the competitiveness of it flipped back around. Sorry, competitiveness of it flipped back around to make it almost casual. There's no clock pressure, no stamina pressure. It was ideal. Yeah, I agree. There's something to be said about like when you are playing against someone who is like so highly competitive that they know both of you understand every single thing that's going on in the game.
right.
It actually takes the edge off.
Wow.
Because you can never make an assumption that they don't know what something is or that they're going to
Right.
misinterpret a rule or something like that. It's just
Right.
like you're both playing the game as it's meant to be played, and as such you both like there's like a certain understanding of like you would obviously not do something like that, so that it's not like take backs, but it's like both of you know what the other person is probably trying
There's
to
going
do.
to be no gotchas.
Yeah, there's no gotchas of any kind.
Right.
Which is one of the most negative things that can happen in a tournament.
For sure.
Um,
Now, do you think that like so like you know that they know that there are no gotchas, right? But are you still explaining them?
Yeah.
Or what? Okay, so you're still
You,
explaining what your army does,
yeah.
but like most people are just kind of going, yeah, no, I know about this army, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Like I wouldn't. I guess to give an example, at the start of a game in a regular tournament, um, I'll always ask you like, do you have any questions about my army? Or do you want me to explain my list, kind of thing. At a regular tournament, the answer is almost yes. Like, please explain your whole list to me. And then I go on like a 10-minute long spiel about everything, and there's no possible way they can memorize everything.
Right.
But at this tournament, the answer is usually no. Like, they have no questions. But if there is a question, it's a very specific rules interaction of like, hey, that thing on your middle of vortex beast, does it have to be in combat when it activates? And is it your combat phase only or something like that? Like, it's a very specific thing where they clearly know what it does. It's just the intricacies that they're not sure of.
Wow.
So it was like, yeah, you had like maybe 30 seconds to a minute each of you being like, what does this do? What does that do? And then boom, let's keep going. And so it really sped things along because one of the biggest things that wastes time is like, does that really work like that? And then you both search it up and then you're like, actually, yes, it does. And it maybe has like these impacts on the game. And then they make some considerations because they didn't think it worked that way. And then it just like, it creates like a stall. But if both of you know exactly what's going on, then you're just making decisions on the fly with all of the information. So it's great. So yeah, so many super clean, super friendly games. Absolutely. Yeah. I think like once you reach like top level competitiveness, the whole like gotcha stuff sort of goes away. Like,
does it?
and like toxic stuff tends to go away.
It clearly
There's
did
going to
here.
be exceptions. There's always going to be exceptions, right? But
Well,
by and large, I find that like when I'm at game 5 in like any tournament and it's top tables, that's like arguably it's usually the nicest person and like most accommodating person that you play with. Just because like there's no when there's like a somewhat of a information or knowledge check, there's kind of a fear, and whenever someone's afraid, they kind of tend to like entrench a little bit and get a little bit like
defensive,
spiky. Yeah. But when both people know everything about what's going on, that fear goes away, and the only thing you're doing is it's like playing a game of chess against someone, or you both know all the rules, so it's just who's the better chess player, right?
Right. Totally. Neat.
Yeah.
Danny's earlier said, I really hope this is the same base size as the Squig Gaba. What was the Squig Gaba on, Danny? I don't remember. Originally I thought this was on a night base, like a 170 mil, which would be way, way, way bigger. But I think it was Asri said he thought it might be on a 105 oval because it is quite skinny looking. But the goblins just look so small. Maybe it's on a 105. I'm just like holding my fingers down on the table here because I don't have any 105s. Wait, what is the? Does anyone remember what the Skaven rat blaster is on, or wart blaster or whatever? If that's a 105, I don't think so. No, it's not. It's not. Because it's the tree one. The tree lord ones are on 105s, hey?
Right.
Maybe. You know what? Yeah. Asri might be right. I really hope he is, because I really don't want it to be on a 170. I think you might be right. Just the ox looks too big. It's on a 90? You know that? The 90? I don't think it's on a 90, dude, because the 90 is kind of a fat-looking base. This is a 90. It's not that different in shape than a what do you call it? A 120 oval. But the 105 one is significantly skinnier because it's basically the same width. I think you said a 105 earlier. But how would you know that it's on what base it's on? You said you'll double check. Like, wait, do you have it? No, I think you convinced me that, because I thought you said 105 at the start. Anyway, this is a little bit of a tangent, but inquiring minds, am I right? Like, it's a Doom Diver. This is the most important discovery in the existence of Gloomspite Gitz. So, yeah.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Exactly. Would you ever consider playing goblins at tournament?
Sure. I think I'm more open to just playing different armies now.
Right.
Um, I've come to really enjoy the teams format, and I think that being hard line playing one army, or like one army is your complete mainstay, is kind of incompatible with the format of teams.
That's true.
Um,
Yeah, and limiting overall as well, probably too. Right.
yeah. Like so, for instance, for Team Canada, we've got a team for Release the Beast, which is like an online teams event, and I'm playing
Okay.
Beast of Chaos for that one.
What? That's
Yeah,
crazy. Why?
just because we needed it, and I was like, I'll do it.
Oh,
That's fine.
crazy. So are you
Yeah,
like learning the? But
yeah. I mean,
but
it's a simple army. There's like tons of best of
no,
war,
I
and I love it.
understand. Yeah,
But
fair enough. But like, is there not another army other than Beastmen where they have a similar function?
they're just kind of like Beasts of Chaos are very good at shutting down like shooting armies, and also
Oh,
bogging down armies that don't have like extremely high output. Um,
okay.
just because it's like you bring 60 to 80 bestigors, and that's 120, or sorry, yeah, 120 to
120 to
160 wounds.
160. Yeah.
Um, and then on top of that, you've got like Ungor and Centigore or something like that. And they've got like -1 to wound against shooting, and you can do the whole like you move 2d6 when something gets shot, and it can move into combat. Like it's pretty backbreaking actually for
Wow.
some armies. So they're a really, really good skew list to go up
Huh.
against certain
Wow.
people. Yeah.
But my question earlier was like, is there not another army that does that? I guess not, is what you're saying, right?
Not as well, probably.
Okay.
Just
Wow.
because they have really good surface area too.
Right.
Like you take
Yeah.
a look at an army
A
like
lot of
Kossiar
bodies.
Bone Reapers, yeah,
Uh-huh.
and they have very good saves, and like the ability to save stack up to like a 1-up save, which is pretty rare right
Right.
now. And they have a heroic trait or artifact, I can't remember which gives a bubble of -1 to wound against shooting. So
Damn.
it serves a similar function, except with OBR, there's a tiny surface area because you basically have like a bubble around Catacross, and you're just this like death castle that's moving around. Whereas Beasts, you're coming in from all the board edges. You've got multiple groups of like 20, and sorry, the Chrome
Oh.
tab just crashed where the stream was.
Ha.
You've got like multiple groups of 20, and it's just like hard for someone to deal with. Like I played against the Slaves to Darkness player today who he was like Archaon and a couple other people, and he just didn't have enough units to be able to take care of all of my stuff one at a time. And I just like bubble wrapped him in a bunch of Bestigor, and I kept bringing them back with the Brave Blast Trumpet, and it was just like you just can't chew through that much eventually.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. Like like I thought it was mostly like when I asked that question to you, I was like thinking the answer was yes, but for a different reason. Because like they can start off the board, completely, and like they're still playing in a very similar way to last edition. Huh. Yeah. That's cool. I like that. Asri, by the way, said it's on a 105 by 70 mil for the Warp Blaster. That's crazy because it doesn't look like it. Maybe it's just the way I've done the basing on it. I could have sworn the Tree Lords were... Wait. This is on a 105? I could have sworn the Tree Lords were on a longer, skinnier base. Hope I didn't put the wrong thing on it, but... Anyway, wow. And the Squig Gaba was on a 120, says Danny. I didn't remember that either. That's crazy. So, maybe. I mean, worst case... Well, actually, it definitely won't be on a 120, but you could maybe rebase it or something, Danny, right? Depending on how much surface area it takes. I'm almost positive that that is not a 120, because if you look at the other one, if you look at this picture, it looks much more elongated than the 120 oval does. So I don't have one around here though, unfortunately, but yeah. Teams is just its own thing. There are a handful of armies that aren't great outside of teams, but are fantastic in teams. Not saying it's this example, but there are some. No, I think this is probably one of them, right? I mean, I don't know how good or bad. Actually, I don't think Beasts of Chaos are bad outside of teams. Is maybe sort of what the point is there. Yeah.
Oh, in fact, while WCW was happening, Gavin Gregor he won Du Bois with Beast of Chaos. So
He won. He won Du Bois.
Du Bois is a big, I think it's like 80 to 100 people or something, a GT.
Wow. Wow.
And yeah, he won it with Beast of Chaos, just 80 best
Jeez
score. So
Louise.
it's good. You know, there's few things like only a couple things I can think of that can really deal with it, and even then, it's like I don't know. Like if you have like incredibly high damage output, and then probably like okay rend, that's usually the trade-off, then you're pretty good into it. So actually ogres is one of the few things that I think is quite good into Beast of Chaos, especially if you can afford to put a couple like Novelar screens in your list, because you have incredibly high surface area with ogres and you have incredibly high damage potential.
Right.
So you can just pick up a unit of Bestigor.
And you're not relying on shooting either.
No, you're not relying on shooting whatsoever. Slaves to Darkness can be good into Beast of Chaos. It just depends. Like the battle plan can be bad for Slaves to Darkness. If you get like a 6 objective one, it probably favors the Beast player because they can just stay away from you and then just send in like missiles at you every once in a while. But if it's a dense map, I think it'd be pretty good for the Slaves player. But yeah, there's a lot of considerations for it, but it's just in general really good right now.
Yeah. Dom says beasts are cracked. I believe it.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. It's like right now though, it's like, okay, you know, when they're going away, it's kind of like I'm one of those people. It's like, well, they're going away, so I'm just not going to pay any attention to them whatsoever, which is not the right attitude to have, even as a non-tournament player. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's good to be reminded.
One of the top 16. One of the top 16 was a Bone Splitters player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've seen that too, right? We've seen Bone Splitters, we've seen Beasts of Chaos doing really well, and we've even seen Sacrosanct Chamber and whatnot. But yeah, I think I just need a reminder every now and again that they're not gone yet. They're gone in my brain already, but not yet for everyone else. Yeah.
And I think that because they're going away, like they're less likely to change in any significant way.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
they'll probably stay pretty good until they're gone.
Probably, right? Like the only thing that I can they probably will change a little bit might be the points. Like, in fact, like I would be almost a little bit surprised if they didn't do some kind of points change on them. Because like what they've kind of done in the past is they made stuff legends and they kind of tweak them slightly worse before they do. And then that way it's like, well, if someone says like, sure, you can play, you know, if someone begs some tournament organizer, hey, let me play Bone Splitters. Come on, man. Like, who cares? They're legends. You know what I mean? Then as long as they're not too good, then it doesn't create this sort of as much of a feels bad situation as if they are. Because they used to allow Tomb Kings in Age of Sigmar 1.0. And Andy very famously, maybe I shouldn't say this, but our good friend Andy, he got like destroyed by this very young player who was just playing I forget what they're called, Sepulchral Guard, whatever the skeleton guys that are riding the Cobras. He just got tooled up because the army was just like super brain dead and like, you know what I mean? It was just like so easy to play. And he was just like so frustrated, right? Because he's like playing 40 chess and then someone's just like, oh yeah, like I'm just doing like all the mortal wounds to you, huh? You know what I mean? Like fast. And anyway, yeah. So Kenrick says, I have been neutered by Bone Splitters twice this edition. They're wild. You could say savage. That's true. So far, GW hasn't changed points of any legend stuff in the Stormcast book. And they have lots of good units. Yeah, I think, like, and that's what I meant, though, is, like, it's, like, if they're going to do it, it'll probably be either with the January update or maybe the update. I don't think they'll do it, like, when they actually kick them out of the game, like, next summer, because it'll be, like, kind of, it's like an extra kick in the pants, and that just seems unnecessary. So if they're going to tweak stuff and make it a little bit worse, just slightly worse maybe, I don't see it happening outside of this coming winter. But we'll see. You know, I kind of hope that they just leave them that like they are, because I think they're. I don't think that they're OP, right? And then like with power creep and everything, the way things go, like stuff generally speaking tends to get more powerful as the edition goes along, right? So yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? Not
Who
me.
knows? Nope.
Ain't nobody.
Yeah. Apropos of nothing, the ox thing that's dragging the Doom Diver along kind of reminds me of the thing you ride in Elden Ring, because it's not like an actual like steer, like what do you call it, like deer, right? It's more like I don't know. That was really just had nothing to do with anything, but yeah. Anything else to talk about in terms of WCW or?
Just I guess another congrats to all the people that made it to the original top 16. They all got golden tickets for next year, which is great. So Stark is going, Matt Beasley's going.
Awesome.
I think there were 4 people in the top 16 that were like in the PNW, which is pretty huge. 3 of them were on like the actual team PNW too. So yeah, Alex
That's really
Gonzalez,
awesome.
Matt Beasley, Stark, and Chris Lemoy. So yeah, congrats to them. Well done. And I hope I can earn a ticket this year.
Right.
I only had 4 last year.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Shit eating grin. Yeah. I don't hope that. I hope that you stay, because last week on the podcast you were acting a little funny, kind of uppity. You know?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
We were all thinking it. I was just the one who said it.
Sigmar Scotty says, congratulations again, Carson. All the PG crew are cheering for you. Thank you. That's super kind.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I had a lot of people reach out like during the games, like as they were happening, like one by one. They're like, yo, congrats. Good job on the win. Even my mom was like following along. She was like,
that's so awesome.
Yeah. And she would like, sometimes she's the type of person to like sometimes overuse emojis. So she'll be like,
that's cute.
Good luck against this player. Like, I don't know, like Canada flag, like skull, because they're like playing Soul Blight Gravelords or something. And then I'm like, thanks, Mom.
That's so
well.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, it was it was great. The amount of support that people had or were giving. It was really touching. And next year I'm gonna go on my villain arc, I think.
You're gonna go on your villain arc?
Yeah, so that people start cheering for a bad person. Yeah. Under false pretense.
Or they just stop cheering for you. No.
That's not an option.
Okay. Sorry. What was I thinking? Stupid, Rob. Stupid. What if you were going to go on your villain arc? What army would you play?
Tzeentch.
I was gonna say that. God. Yeah. Oh man, I didn't think you would just say it like that. Yeah.
There's a villain arc army, and it's that one.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would change. If I'm on my villain arc, I'm just playing whatever's the most oppressive.
Right.
Probably.
Do you think Tzeentch is the best army in the game right now? Oh, okay,
nope.
You're not saying that.
No.
It's just the most annoying to play. It's the worst experience.
Exactly.
Now, why? Like, I think I know the answer, but why do you think Tzeentch is, other than horrors? Like, is there anything?
It's like a combination of a bunch of different things. Like,
okay,
Tzeentch is kind of the army that it's like you get pinned down and someone's just throwing pebbles at your forehead, and it's just like
it's super annoying.
Stop. Like it's just it's not like one fell swoop. It just slowly whittles you down and drives you crazy. Horrors are a huge part of it, obviously. Where like this the blue horrors mechanic is like probably my least favorite mechanic of 4th edition, where they the way that it works is that it's very complicated. When you kill a blue horror,
yeah,
they have to roll their ward save. So for
Right.
each damage point you've inflicted on them, they roll a ward save. Did they make it? No. They move on. Then they have to roll a 3-up. If they make that 3-up roll, they get to bring back a Brimstone Horror in the unit, and that Brimstone Horror has to be set up in coherency with models that existed in that unit at the start of the turn.
Ugh.
And what that means is that they have to go one by one and go per damage inflicted, 6-up, nope, 3-up, yes, set this up in coherency, resolve the next damage. And you have to have like a mental snapshot in your brain of the models that were in the unit at the start of them doing that. Otherwise, it's extremely easy to actually illegally use that rule, much to the Tzeentch player's benefit. So there are certain players that I know, like Fred Schmidt and Matt Beasley, who have it down to like a science. And I'm like, okay, I just trust you to do it. But you run into someone that you've never played against before, you're like, I really have to be paying attention to the way that they're doing this, because it can accidentally be super beneficial for them if they're not doing it correctly. And anytime you have that kind of mechanic in a game where it just creates distrust, it's a super negative experience.
That's
right?
a very bad idea. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. That checks out. Beefy says, Carson, you made us proud, but I can't rig Battered Bison for your repeat ticket. It was nice of you to do it the first time, Beefy. It was nice. Yeah. Carson agrees, I think.
The mustache gets more and more curly as the villain art continues.
Oh, I see. That's what Ladivika said. Yeah.
Yep.
He does have a nice, like, it is a good villain mustache. I have to give you that.
Yeah, I've got real big, like, tying random women to train tracks vibes going for me, I think.
Wait, I know what you said, but I didn't understand the words that you said. Like, I know, like, all the cartoons,
Yeah.
you know, that you're referring to, but like, the words that you said made no sense to me.
I have the vibes of someone who ties random women to train tracks.
Okay.
I.e., like cartoon
I got
villains.
it that time. Yeah, exactly.
He
Yeah.
goes, meh.
What's his name? There's
I
like a
don't know.
famous one, right?
I was about to, I don't know, I was about to go like tying women to train tracks. I was like, maybe I shouldn't do that.
What's the cartoon character? I was looking up something the other day and I was just like, man, what are the right words to get the thing that I want? I don't remember. Oh, that's right. I was setting up the new stream stuff. But yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, like Stark said, Fred was super fast with resolving his blue horrors, which, to be fair, his army was just 80 horrors. So that's kind of like the only mechanic he has to memorize.
Whoa.
So he just turned his brain into like an algorithm of just being like 6-up, nope, 3-up, okay, and then just like set this thing up and just it's
right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Beefy Crunch says bad guy from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Right. Did he actually tie people to railroad tracks though? That's like what I don't know. Be the Quaker Oats spokesperson.
Snidely Whiplash.
Oh, what a great name.
That's a good name.
Top hat and a big black jacket and a popped collar and big black gloves. Yeah. Carson has all of those things, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. As funny as it sounds, I enjoyed watching on the stream more with longer rounds too. People just seem to have the time to process better or something. Super pro 4-hour rounds. Yeah. Yeah. Stark, my body is a machine that turns blue horrors into brimstone horrors. Yeah, absolutely. Oh man.
And then turns pink horrors into more blue horrors. Yep.
Does that work?
Yep. In fact, what you can do is if your unit gets all the way down to 19 brimstones, or actually gets all the way down to 20 brimstones,
Okay.
and then a unit of pinks within 12 inches of them starts dying, every pink that dies turns into 2 new blue horrors in that unit, and you can get up to 20 brims and 20 blues in a unit that was originally just 20 blues.
What?
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, Brimstones have the same shooting profile as blues.
Yeah.
So if that unit was actually like valid, then that's just 80 shots coming from that unit, which is no rend 1 damage, sure,
That's
but
crazy.
still like a crazy amount of volume of fire, which against something like Nighthaunt or Bellicor or anything with a bad save, it's just like, we'll just delete them, right?
Right.
And this is a chaff unit. And it applies Weird
Jeez.
Flame too.
It does too. Wow.
Yeah.
So no healing. And if a unit it has Weird Flame on it, they can't rally either, right? Or can they?
No. Well,
Right?
you would rally and then it would just fizzle. And
It would
clear
just
the Weird Flame.
put out the Weird Flame, but then you don't get any actual rally.
Yeah, exactly.
Geez, that's what I thought. That's brutal. Wow. They have to get one through, though, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, they have to actually have dealt damage with it, like allocated damage.
Okay, that's what I thought. But still, that's freaking crazy, man. Jeez. It was Fred's villain year, and I commend him on it, to be honest, says Ludovicus. Yeah. I think we need to encourage more people to be villainous, you know? That's the era we're living in, for sure. I need a good villain arc, you know? But I don't think we should do villain arcs at the same time, you know?
Yeah, we got to take turns. That's true.
Yeah, right? So, if you're going next year to Worlds.
Yeah.
But you can't start your villain arc at Worlds. You need to practice first, right?
Yeah, I need to be at like the apex of my villain arc. And then,
Okay. I like that. Okay. So then why don't we'll split the year up, right? Because I'm more of a winter guy. I like it cold. And so then like the seasons, like Alariel, you know what I mean? As we approach the summer, I wax. Wait, or is it wane? I wane.
Wane.
Yeah, I wane. And then you wax as, you know, as the summer starts, and then we go like that.
Yep, I think that makes sense. So I'll show up to the US Open Tacoma, which is usually in July, and people will be like, Carson was like kind of a turd that event, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like a little more than normal.
Yeah,
And then it'll just get worse and worse and worse until eventually the World Championships happen, and everyone's like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
What a jerk. Like,
Exactly.
and I'll win.
And then you win.
And then I'll
That
win.
will be how you win. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said nice roll, and I rolled a 1 and a 2. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think he meant by that? Like,
Good job, idiot.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice prior world, dumbass.
Who taught you how to roll a dice, you idiot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loser.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, 3 up. Nope. No. Okay. 6 up. Nope. Oh, yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I hope that wasn't too loud, by the way.
Again, I can't hear it because it's silenced by Google. But
No, I know. I meant the stream. I don't care about you. Remember,
Is it
my
stream?
villain arc is starting now.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to be the noble Git mob, future saviors of the mortal realm, when they stop the Skaven Tide purely accidentally. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I kind of hope. So, but the thing is, though, is I've been playing Gitz, right? To do a proper villain arc, I can't play an army that I've been playing for, what, like 3 years or something now, right? I need to pick an army. No, it hasn't been that long, but it's been a while. It's been over 2 years because their book came out 2 years ago. So it's been like 2.5 years, right? So if I play Gitz, like if they become good, well, I've already been playing them. That's not a proper villain arc. What I need to happen is Iron Jaws have to be really good, and then I get into the army and start playing them, and only the best units. Like, that's how my villain arc starts, right? This could work.
I believe.
I believe too.
Yeah.
The question though, for everyone in the chat, for Carbson, and for the people in the future, to do a proper, I know what Carson's going to say. He's very biased, but if I were to do a proper, like Iron Jaws villain arc, do I have to shave my beard and just have a mustache?
I feel like Iron Jaw's villain arc has to be like mutton chops, or like
Mutton
a full
chops?
or no, mutton chops is the no.
Yeah, right? Or what if okay, this is a little out there. What if I grow my beard out and I braid it? Like a biker or something, or like some kind of crazy like Viking villain. I don't know if that'll work because my beard hair is so thick. Like, I think it'll probably just really hurt. But then that would make me mad all the time because I'll just be in constant pain and my skin will be all inflamed underneath in it. And I'll just be like yelling. Like, I'll be like taking bites of sandwiches and then yelling at people and spitting food in their face. And it gets in my beard. This is way too vivid. This is way too vivid.
You're like, yeah, yeah, that's a good villain arc. I think it's more like a just deranged village idiot arc, but
that's true. But you know,
it's like we keep trying to tell him not to braid his beard because it hurts him so much.
It hurts so much.
He gets angry at us because his beard's braided.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'll get my wife to do it in my sleep, and then I wake up. That way, I wake up angry. You know, I have terrible dreams. You know, this could work, guys. Full neck beard, yeah, like that's kind of along the lines I was thinking. Wouldn't that be dwarven villain arc? You make a good point, but I can't say. But like, I'm gonna like harken back to this moment when I couldn't say what I wanted to say, because I think like if you have an idea, I really think this is true. Try this for yourselves. If you have an idea for something like some kind of creative project, right, that you're excited for and you think will be really cool, like whoever was the first person to come up with doing the Skaven in a KO army, you know what I mean? Whoever that was way back when, because that's existed for ages now. I think it pretty much came out not that long after KO. Like that's how quickly it was. When they were coming up with that idea, or whatever your idea is, like this is just an example. If you come up with something like that, I think you have to keep it a secret until you're actually putting it out there. I don't think you can tell people your idea and then it'll actually happen. I think it like by keeping it a secret, it gives you this impetus to do it and then show people instead of just talking about it. You know how like a lot of writers just like talk about the novel they're writing, but they don't actually write it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Something along those lines.
There are actually studies that like support that specifically, where when you tell people about, basically like there's like different levels of like self-satisfaction that you get based on actually doing things and then telling people that you're doing things.
Right.
And then when you tell someone that you're like doing something, so let's say like I've started a new diet and you start telling everyone, you actually get a little bit of the same satisfaction as if you had already followed through with the diet and had successful results.
Right.
And in doing so, you lose motivation because you essentially have treated it as if it's done.
You got that feedback already.
Yeah. Like I got what I wanted.
I see.
Yeah.
Huh. That makes sense. I actually, because the reason I started doing that was because I was writing a novel and I was reading a book about, you know, how to go about it. And that was one of the things they said, you can't tell anyone. You can't tell anyone about it until it's done, until your first draft is done. And I really liked it. I had to tell my wife because, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing on your computer? She's like, I think you're cheating or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, like just typing away furiously. Who are you messaging? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. It's Word. You know, it's a word processor. But yeah. That's really interesting though. Like I could actually have seen it being the opposite in a way too, where it's like you get used to that, and then if you don't see the results, like if you don't start producing results, then but what you say makes total sense. Like, yeah, I like that.
That's why I try not to like post work in progress.
I
Progress
think
pictures of
people
my
notice
stuff.
I never do. I never do. Yeah.
I've started doing it a bit more lately, but like
Okay.
in the past, it's just been like I'm not posting anything until it's completely done, and I take like my quote unquote like professional-esque photos in like a light box.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Same.
because to be honest, like sometimes you'll see like I'm on Reddit probably too much, and you'll see people post like a model that's like base coated with like two different colors. They're like, "What do you guys think of this scheme so far?" Work in
Yeah.
progress. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like it's not anywhere near finished. Like I can't possibly give you critique on this yet.
Yeah.
It's like if someone were to stop in the middle of like making a sandwich and it's just like a piece of bread with some mayonnaise on it, and they're like,
Yeah.
"This is work in progress, but I want you to tell me what you think so far." And I'm like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah. That's so like, yeah. I mean, and I don't want to discourage people who do like to take in progress photos because that's totally okay. And that's just like a different kind of person in general. I'm not the type to just do it anyway. And it's not because I'm worried about like what people think of it, because like if you say it's in progress, then I don't think people will really judge it. But it's just for me, it takes away from the motivation, and I know it'll do that, And so, and like I'll take pictures occasionally, you know what I mean, and send it to people, but I won't post it in any kind of public way at all, But it's mostly when I'm stuck, or something like that. Like, what do you think this needs? What about a pop color? Like and then I'll ask, so occasionally I've actually done it a few times where I'll ask a bunch of people and then I take no one's advice in the end. I've actually had people get mad at me. Like, why did you ask? Just I'm sorry. Like, I really thought that it was going to be one of those things, and then it's something hit, and anyway. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Oh, good night, Beefy. Thanks for joining us. Ladifica says, I think work in WIP is fine on conversions, but paint makes little sense to me. Yeah, I mean, and like, again, it's not something I'm into, but when other people do it, it's totally cool. It doesn't bother me, but it's just not something I'm into. The one thing that I really don't get, and again, if you're into this kind of thing, that's totally cool. But it's something that I noticed happens a lot. People do this a lot, and I don't understand it at all. So maybe you guys can enlighten me. That's what I actually probably want to get out of this the most. They put their models together and then they post public pictures on Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And it's like, I put these models together. Just like, okay, like, I don't understand that. I really just don't get the motivation for it. It's like, was there any doubt that you could put a model together? Like, or is it just more just like, I think it's mostly just people being social, right? But yeah, again, that I don't derive any, unless it's like, there are exceptions to that. So I guess I can kind of get it intellectually, where it's like when like Skaven's a big thing for me. Like, I'm known as the Skaven guy to a certain extent, right? So when the Skaven came out, I started putting models together. I didn't put it in a public forum, but a couple of friends, I was like, I'm putting my Skaven models together. This is exciting, But that's more of a, I don't know, like a shared connection kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, like when Alex got Iron Jaws, for example, or like if you get a new Ogres release, Carson, and you don't post pictures of models that are put together, I'll actually be weirdly upset. Yeah, I think Stark has got it. Like, I think maybe sharing the excitement of beginning. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is, right? And again, I'm not crapping on anyone. Like, I've never posted a negative comment on anyone's paint job, conversion, or or in progress building models, or even just like that's something that like a lot of people do is like on release day they'll take pictures of like their haul from the store or whatever, and like usually I'm really into it. Like I'm super excited for them. I'm like, that's awesome. You know, there's occasionally though people will take a picture of just like stacks of boxes. You know what I mean? Like 4,000 or 5,000 points, just stacks of boxes, and I'm like, that to me seems a little bit like, you know, I don't know, the cart before the horse or something, right? But even that, like, whatever makes your boat, you know, float, I don't care. Whatever makes you happy, that's totally cool. Yeah, I always build up people. Like, to be honest, I've never said a negative thing about anything. I did like I did send a picture one time, you know, and like not in any kind of public way to my brother, and I was like, what do you think of this? You know, because it was, you know, and then my brother said, oh, it reminds me of this, and then, you know, and it was very funny and that kind of thing. But like that was like, but nothing in any kind of public thing. My brother's not even into Warhammer, right? But yeah, no, I don't, because like, I don't know, I just don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't want to do anything to stop people from, yeah. You didn't enjoy my Skaven stack photo? Your stack photo was actually really good. I'm not talking about those specifically, Litivicus. I'm actually not. I mean, like, I've seen photos of people taking like the one I was actually thinking of was, I remember seeing a photo of, I forget how many boxes of Indomitus. It was like, I think it was 6 boxes of Indomitus. And this was during a time when no one could get them. This is before the thing. And it just seemed like they were kind of being a dick, you know? And because it's just like, all these people couldn't get it, and now you're just showing off a bunch of models that you're probably never going to paint. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do with it? Like, there's so many like captains and like lieutenants in that box, and like, you know, like the same model, like the, what were they called? The guys with the sword and board, Vanguard, it doesn't matter. But, you know, like there's a bunch of those, and like, they're the same model. And like, we knew anyway, it's more along those lines where it was just like, what are you showing? Are you showing off your wealth? Like, are you showing off that you can buy this many boxes? And it's, sorry.
Real quick. Scotty's been asking
a couple times. Absolutely. I'm so sorry.
See the cool wolf again.
This cool wolf? Or was it, these cool wolves? Or was it these? Or, oh, dang it, I think I put away the other one. How about that? Wait, you tell me what you want, Scotty. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, not at all. I mean, like, I think I was getting a little lost in the weeds anyway, so it was probably a good thing that I got interrupted, to be honest. But like, it was more just like, I don't know, the point of like when someone gets like a box or 2 boxes, you know, even if it's like the starter set or whatever, even 3, like that's actually totally cool. But at a certain point, it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do with these models? And when a lot of people couldn't get them or couldn't afford them or whatever, and I don't know, like that can definitely create. That's what I was trying to say, was just like, there is like a limit on it. But like, no, I mean like how many like storm vermin are you going to paint? Like eventually I'm planning on painting like 40 of the new ones. And I already have 40 of them fully painted and everything. Right. But they look awesome. And so I'm going to, you know, I only bought 10 to start off with, and 5, like the worst thing in the entire army, the thing that I'm probably going to paint last was one of the things that I liked the most, the models, which was the Globadiers, because it's something I always loved. They're super dynamic, you know? The one with the no neck gobbo. Okay. He has a name, Scotty, and it's Big Ed. Or Big Ed? Big Ed?
Big Ed? Big Ed?
Yeah, how do you pronounce that apostrophe in front of the E?
Big Ed? Like you have to really like lean into that. Big Ed?
Or Big Ed?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're lost. I almost want to get the big leader guy to paint up as an Ami from Okami. Yeah, Amaterasu. Yeah, I almost got that wrong. Did you ever play Okami? Great game. Great game. Very different. I actually played it on Switch. I played it on PS2 and PS3, and I think there's they did another HD remaster or whatever on PS4, and I think that's the only one I haven't played. But yeah, very good game. It was really cool on Switch because of when you draw the lines, you could use the motion controls, and it was actually like one of the few times where I thought motion controls was just better because it had that more of a feeling of drawing, you know. Yeah. No neck like the criminologist from the Rocky Horror. That is a specific reference. Holy crap. Love it. Big Aid. Yeah. There's so many ways we could go with this. I think Big Ed is, I'm just going to call him Big Ed like I would normally say Ed, because otherwise it gets pretty, yeah. I'm playing it right now for the 4th time. Good for you, man. Yeah. Are you playing like the most, I know this, I'm sorry, Carson, this is definitely a tangent, but like, are you playing, I haven't played the PS4 version. I don't own it, but I found the PS3 version was like, I don't know. It was like, I just liked the game so much I played it, but I didn't think that they did a good job with the remaster. And I was hoping that they did. I was hoping for someone to tell me that they did a great job on the remaster for PS4 or whatever, or the newest remaster, HD remaster, and give me a reason to buy it. That's my main question. PS4. Okay. Could you let me know if they, I don't know if you played the PS3 remaster, but like, did they do a better job, or is it just like a graphic upscale? I'm putting a league on January 1st for the Prince George Gladius of Champions. Winner gets their name, faction, and date later etched into a Damascus steel forged Gladius. Sheesh. That sounds awesome. Holy poop balls.
I'm moving to Prince George.
Yeah, I'm moving too. Like, I don't even play in tournaments, but I'm playing in that. Damn, that's so sick. PS4 version, PS2, Wii, PS3, and PS4 now. Damn. And Okami Den. I don't think I played Okami Den. Did you know that they had, sorry, Carson. There was an Okami like thing that they added on, because they're both Capcom games, to that new one. There was like a new, Capcom game. What was it called? Kunimitsu? Path of the Fallen Goddess or something like that. Really unusual tower defense game. I don't know if you saw that at all, Carson, but it looked really wild and cool. And they basically did some kind of thing with the alpha or the beta, where if a certain amount of people played it, then they would unlock the Okami, like, I don't know if it was DLC or free LC or what, but seems the same, but it seems way easier. Oh, okay. That probably means it's been smoothed out a bit. Yeah, it was kind of funky on PS3. Putting together a good code of conduct and looking at many different COC from. I didn't know that, Bahamut, about the Monster Hunter stuff. I haven't played Monster Hunter. That's awesome though. Yeah. Yet Big Ed is so sick, and I'm so glad that he comes in the box set. I think I'm probably going to pick up the box set, you know, because like the wolves are so freaking awesome, man. And like it comes with the battle tome. Like I need the battle tome anyway. Right. And I don't like the art on the other one. I made that a little too clear, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I need to get painting though. I need to get like 2K of brand new Skaven done, and then I'll feel free to move on to shoring up other armies. I want to get some Morbeg Guard done, so I can play FEC on the channel and not feel completely neutered You know, like I have one good unit other than Usharan on the table. And then I also want to paint up some Croxagore for Seraphon. Yeah. But if I'm going to start my Iron Jaws villain arc, I might need to jump into that. What am I going to do, Carson? What am I going to do?
Just be a bad person. Play Tzeentch.
Just play Tzeentch? I tried that. I was not good at it. It's just not how I like to play. I mean, I don't mean being evil. I enjoy that very much, obviously. I mean, just like, I just don't enjoy... I actually like Blue Deck Magic, funny enough. I just did not enjoy Tzeentch in 3rd edition Age of Sigmar at all. It was not fun. Latificus, dude, I look forward to it. Like, that's the thing, though, right? Okay, I hope you guys don't misunderstand what I was saying about those stacks of boxes. Like, Latificus famously loves Gloomspite Gitz. It is his #1 favorite army of all time, and he's made that very apparent. I don't care how many boxes you post, my friend. I do not care. Yeah. I do not care. I look forward to it very much. I guess there is a limit. If you post so many boxes that you can't legally field an army of just like the cavalry from those boxes, then maybe you're taking it a little too far. But I'll still probably be happy for you because you like Gitz. Whatever. Like those posts. Have you seen those tables? I'm sure, Carson, you've seen this, right? Where they post a picture of an entire table, like a 6x4 table covered with one army, like Tyranids or... I love that. I think that's amazing. That's someone who has a real love of the army, you know?
They had that in person at WCW. There was a...
Really?
Yeah, I think it was like 5 tables stacked side by side full of just purely Hive Fleet. Leviathan, I want to say? Leviathan, sorry.
Yeah. That's the purple and bone-colored one.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Maybe it was like...
Behemoth with the red and like...
No, green and something maybe. I don't remember exactly, but it was like a...
Oh, cool.
They had like Bio-Titans and like obviously hundreds and hundreds of Termagants and Hormagants and stuff like that. And
was it like a display?
I don't know what it was. I think it was part of the grand narrative.
Oh, neat. That's cool.
It was running simultaneously with the WCW event. And yeah, there's a lot of crazy cosplays, like people, you know, wearing, you know, full on like Inquisitor outfits. Someone was dressed up as Be'lakor, or someone is like Space Marine and stuff. Yeah. Thanks to Asri for joining us. Have a good night, man. We won't be too much longer, but yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm starting to fade here. Yeah. I don't blame you. I am too. Was it last? Yeah, it was last week. I went into my lesson, like my voice was shot because Kenrick couldn't see the lists. So I had to read out all the names and like I had to basically read out everything. And it was brutal stuff actually. And I'm, you know, I'm quite loquacious. So I'm pretty used to speaking a lot anyway, but yeah, I was ruined that night. No, it's all okay. I'm glad, Latificus, at least you know, I'm a little gun shy about being misunderstood on the internet because it's happened for sure in the past. Yeah, I mean, anyway, I won't talk about it again. It's mostly just, you know, I'm almost always extremely happy for people. I am the Mortark of hype for a reason, right? But yeah. And I get it. And it wasn't even like I was upset about it. It was just more like, I don't understand what this is doing, you know, but, you know, hey, rock on. 40k narrative players are bat poop crazy, and I love them. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm very much a narrative player. Like, I want to do way more narrative play than I've been doing. I used to run narrative campaigns at our local store. Yeah. So sign me up. I'll be doing
one after the new Krieg release, mostly because of the success of our Path to Glory campaign. That sounds awesome. Yeah, like the Krieg. There was a bunch of other releases too. We didn't cover them because they're 40K, but there was Krieg, which is kind of exciting. I like that they're like, even if it's not for AOS, I just like that they're showing stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're bringing back things that people think are important. Like the Doom Diver is one of them. People are like, bring us back the Doom Diver. And they're like, okay, bring us back Krieg. Okay. Show us some cool new Eldar stuff. Cool. Okay. Anyway. But yes. Yeah. If I get the Git mob, I'll probably post a picture myself, but it'll probably just be one box. But yeah. Anyway, thanks to everyone for joining. Thanks to, for hanging with us. Thanks to Carbington for giving us a post WCW report. And yeah, am I forgetting anything? I'm sure I am, but
we're all good.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week for the podcast. And we're hoping to we're thinking about doing a battle report next week. Not this week, but next week. So yeah. Thanks again so much for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.